When it comes to college basketball and March Mania, one thing is for sure. Nothing's for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advances, top seeds going home early. It's all gonna happen. Bet the unexpected, every upset, every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. Ready to make your first bet? Check out the matchups and pick a team to win. It's that simple. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code MONEYMOVE. That's code MONEYMOVE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets. When you bet just $5, only at DraftKings. The crown is yours. All right, listen up, taxpayers. It's time for what you all really tuned in to listen to me for. Financial advice. Tax season, Boost Mobile wants you to turn your tax refund into 6 months of saving. When you buy 6 months on their best unlimited plans, Boost will give you another 6 months for free. That's like 6 times 2 divided by 1, carry the, a really good deal. They told me I should have been a tax accountant. Well, would you trust me with your money? Well, that's great news because I'm not done yet. Visit Boost Mobile store during tax season and enter to win up to $10,000 to double your refund. Or if you're really good at math and money stuff like me, pay off what you still owe. Okay, time to take my financial advisor hat off and put on my lawyer hat. Requires upfront payment, tax and fees extra, terms and exclusion apply. Visit boostmobile.com for full offer terms and sweeps details. And now I get back to my boring old day job. Head over to your nearest Boost Mobile store and make the most out of your tax refund. This episode of Nightcap is brought to you by Cologuard, a non-invasive colon cancer screening test. Did you know colon cancer is considered one of the most preventable yet least prevented cancers? When caught in the early stages, colon cancer has a survival rate of 90%. So screening and early detections are key to reducing overall colon cancer deaths. That's why the American Cancer Society recommends that if you're at average risk, you begin screening for colon cancer at age 45. And a convenient way to do that is with Cologuard test. The Cologuard test allows you to be in control of your colon cancer screening through prescription-based tests delivered to your door with none of the prep that's required for a colonoscopy. No liquid prep, no days off, no invasive procedures. Plus, Cologuard test is affordable. Most insured patients pay $0, and a follow-up colonoscopy is needed after a positive Cologuard test. This is usually covered by insurance also. So if you're 45 years of older and at average risk, you can ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a Cologuard prescription today at Cologuard.com/podcast. The Cologuard test is intended to screen adults 45 and older at average risk for colorectal cancer. Do not use Cologuard test if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease, and certain hereditary syndromes, or personal or family history of colorectal cancer. The Cologuard test is not a replacement for colonoscopies. High-risk patients' Cologuard test in adults 45 to 49 is estimated based on a large clinical study of patients 50 and older. False positives and false negatives can occur. Cologuard is available by prescription only. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Nightcap brought to you by Boost Mobile. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or boostmobile.com to join their nationwide 5G network today. Thank you again. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that like button and go subscribe to the Nightcap podcast feed wherever you get your podcast from. Y'all know me, your favorite Unc, Shannon Sharpe, number 85, a route runner extraordinaire, a bingo Ring of Fame honoree, a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro. That's Chad Ochocinco Johnson. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for your continued support and loyalty. Please make sure you check out Shea by Laportier. We do have it in stock. And if you can't find it in a city or a state near you, order it online. We'll ship it directly to your door. Please drink responsibly and please stay safe. Thank you for everyone that showed up and Charleston today. Hey, both Total Wines sold out of product. You guys went, they sold out of one store, came to the other store, came out. Unfortunately, I had to leave as they were bringing more in. So hopefully I'll get a chance to spin the block and get back over there and see you guys again. But I wanted to personally thank you for showing up and supporting. I greatly, greatly appreciate your support. Please go follow my media company's page on all of its platforms, Shay Shay Media, and my clothing company, 84, with everything being restocked. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Supplies are very limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. So please grab yours while supplies last. We got a couple of special guests lined up for you. We got 1 cent. That is Anthony, Penny Hardaway, and y'all know the mayor of Houston, Bun B, joins us a little later in the show. But Ocho, we're gonna get into March Madness. I'm gonna show you this a little later. Day 1 of March Madness in the books. Hey, got an upset already, Ocho. The biggest upset of the tournament thus far. McNeese, number 12, McNeese State, over number 5, Clemson, 69-67. McNeese became the 47th, number 12 seed to win a first-round game since 1979, and in the process won its first NCAA tournament game in school history. The performance comes in wake of Coach Will Wade's agreement. He's leaving McNeese at the end of the tourney run to become the head coach of the Wolfpack of NC State. But Wade's transparency with his players and the mission that he had contact with NC State did not become a distraction. He said, Ocho, do you think him leaving propelled his team to spring this upset?
I think maybe so. But listen, you know, when it comes to basketball, it's one game. It's not a 7-game series. It's not a 5 or 6 game series. You go out there and what team shows up that specific day. Your ranking don't matter. It don't matter what you've done during the regular season. Once it comes to March Madness, you got one shot to get it right. And they got it right. Maybe there might have been some type of motivation behind coach, them knowing coach is leaving, and you want to send him out the right way. And if this is any testament to that, kudos to them.
Yeah, they played really well. But Ocho, the thing is that there's a difference between truth and transparency. You see the difference? See, truth is you ask me a question, I tell you the truth. Transparency is you telling me something that I didn't even ask you to tell me. Ocho, I ain't gonna do that now, Ocho. Nah, don't you get that book.
Hold
Don't you get that book.
Hold on. We just started the show. Hey, I'm gonna start. You know, I'm gonna start. Hey,
no, Ocho, we're not doing that. Ocho, let's get into the show. Ocho,
how we gonna get into the show? You coming out with hot fire already? Give me that. Come on now. Come on. Don't do me like that. Give me that one more time. I got to write that down. I'm telling you, that transparency line was unbelievable.
Truth is telling you. You ask me a question, I tell you the truth. Transparency is telling you something you didn't even ask me. I'm being transparent. You don't even know. See, if you tell me, say, well, Shannon, blah, 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 so forth and so on. Yeah, this is what I did. But let me tell you something else that you didn't know. That's being transparent. And there's a difference between the two. And so I think him, even before they found out, he was like, look, guys, I've had contact. There's a possibility I could be leaving you guys and going somewhere else. And I think that plays a large part. That's what transparency is. People say transparent. I want you to be transparent. Now I think that's a good definition of good understanding is telling someone something they didn't even ask. Now you're being transparent. And so I think this definitely helped. But like you said, Ocho, in a game of this magnitude, when one shot is and that's one shining moment, I just got to be better than you for this day. I ain't got to be better. I ain't got to be a better team. I just got to be better than you today.
2 hours. That's it.
That's it. And they were. But I think that's why people love March Madness so much, Ocho, because realistically, anything can happen on that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And people like that because the underdog, like, man, my team really got a chance to beat a Duke, to beat a North Carolina, to beat a Clemson, to beat a UCLA, or one of these blue blood programs, Kentucky, Kansas. My team, man, you know what? My team did that. My team really, truly has a chance to do that.
And listen,
so
there's a reason they call it March. And the last word is madness. Because ain't no
Mm-hmm.
telling what's gonna happen, regardless of seeding, regardless of the conference, regardless of how small your program may be. All it takes is what team is showing up that day for 2 hours.
A team get a lot, Ocho. I think for me, a team get
Yeah.
hot, and a team get
Mhm.
hot. They make 10, 11, 12 threes in a
Yeah.
college game. That's
Yeah.
huge. They go on a run, all of a sudden they can't miss. We've seen it before. We've seen Villanova pull the upset over
Yeah.
Georgetown. We've seen NC
Hmm.
State take down Phi Slamma Jamma in 1984. No, that was 83. 83, excuse me. 83. The Wolfpack took them down. Because in 84, Georgetown won. Georgetown beat Houston that year. Because that was the year Akeem ended up turning pro. But yeah, it was so got another
Yeah.
one, Ocho. Drake is headed to the second
Mm.
round. The Bulldogs just upset Missouri 67-57.
Golly.
That's a number 11, took down a number 6. Earlier, we had a number 12, took down a number
Right.
5. I think the thing is we're waiting for that. We're waiting for that 116, 215,
Right.
314. Because like and the note said earlier, 47 times of 12 have taken down number
Mhm.
5. So we've gotten kind of like we expect 112 to take down a
Right.
5 seed in the first round. We go into the thing. So when we get this, even though it is an upset because you're ranked 5, the other team is ranked 12, 11 versus a 6. We're expecting this now because we've seen it happen so much over the years. So we're not nearly as shocked. But now when we get a 116, we get a 215, we get a 314. Now we're like, whoa, 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 what's really going on? What's really
Yeah.
going on? But 2 upsets early, I wonder how many perfect brackets that we still
Listen,
have.
honestly, you would have to make multiple brackets
Yes, for
with
sure.
multiple scenarios for your bracket to be right. There's no way in hell people are guessing the bracket on one shot with some of the upsets and getting it right. Because if you are, and if you're able to do it and you out there and your bracket is still intact today, you need to give me the numbers to Mega Millions in the lotto and pick
And
five.
Powerball.
Please do.
The first round is really not that hard because I think Warren Buffett had a thing that if you compete a perfect bracket and pick the national champ, you'll get $1 billion. Well, that ain't gonna
Nah.
happen. You've got a better chance of winning the
Mhm.
lottery than picking a perfect bracket all the way through and getting the national
Mhm.
champion right.
Yeah.
You got a better chance. Think
Yeah.
about it, Ocho. Every single
Yeah.
round from 64 to
Shh.
32 to 16 to 8 to
Mhm.
4,
Listen,
and to
but
get it,
you get that
that ain't
right. That
happening.
ain't nothing but God's grace and favor. That ain't
Yeah.
nothing but that.
Well, you better let God pick it then. You better not pick it. You better let him pick it. You better let him fill out your
Yeah.
you better let him fill out your bracket. Ocho, the number 8 Gonzaga's the Zags beat number 9 Georgia Bulldogs
Mm.
89-68. The Zags look to be drastically underseeded as the number 8 made easy work over the
Yeah.
Georgia Bulldogs. Gonzaga has now played 26 straight NCAA tournament games. Georgia was playing for the first time since 2015. One team looked very, very comfortable on this stage. The other team did not. The Jags jumped out to a 27-3 lead and never
Mhm.
looked back. Georgia had 13 turnovers, shot just 5 of 26 from the 3, including back-to-back air balls at one point in the first half. They trailed by 25 points on multiple occasions. Look, I think didn't Gonzaga just play for the national championship a couple
Yeah.
of years ago? And they have really good players. They had Jalen Suggs come out of there, Timmy, Chet Holmgren. So they've had Rui Hachimura. They've had
Oh
some
yeah.
guys, some really good players come out of Gonzaga.
Hmm.
So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. I definitely would even though they were a higher seed, I would have picked the
Yeah.
Zags to beat the
Absolutely.
Bulldogs.
Absolutely.
You've been there that many times. I don't think anybody's surprised that the Zags. I'm probably the only people that picked them were Bulldog fans. On Saturday, get ready to see how good the Zags are. They'll try to beat the top seeded Houston Cougars
Ooh.
to make their 10th
Hey,
straight
now
Sweet
that's gonna be a
16.
good one. Now that's gonna be a good one.
Got
They got to be able to handle that pressure. Drew Timmy. That's who. Damn.
What?
Number 10, Arkansas Razorbacks took down the number 7 Kansas Jayhawks 79-72 in a game of runs between two championship coaches. 7 seed Kansas escaped the win with 8 ties and 10 different lead changes. The number 10 Arkansas Razorback used a 7-0 run to give Coach John Calipari a 79-72 victory over the Jayhawks and Bill Self in the Providence, Rhode Island. What you think? I mean, Coach K left. He got the criticisms became a little bit unbearable because hold up, bro. Every year, think about all the first round draft picks that you've had, all the number 1 overall draft picks that you've had, and you've only got one national championship to show. And Kentucky is about championships. Coach Ruff, Tubby Smith, Rick Pitino, even Caleb stacked one, but you got number 1 overall pick Anthony Davis. You got Karl Anthony Towns. You got Boogie Cousins. You got number all John Wall. You got Shea Gilgis. You got Tyler Hero. You got Jamal Murray. You got Devin Booker. You got Vanderbilt. Come on, Coach.
Listen, it's been a farm system for them. It's been a farm system for them, in and out with number 1 picks, some of the greatest, not only to play collegiate football, but some of the greatest also in the NBA. But also, Uncle, you got to think about it. Think about who they were losing to. They weren't losing to no scrub. They're also losing to other players that play well collectively as a group. Now we naming one-offs of great players that happen to be on a team, but the team that they lost to.
But you do realize that John Wall and Boogie Cousins was
they was on the same team. But that's the key word that you heard me say. The team that they lost to played together collectively as a group, much better than them.
They've been longer.
Two-headed monster. So
sophomore, the team that's beating them are sophomores, juniors, and seniors sprinkled in, where they're just one and done. And look, try to learn how to play together. Because all these guys, Murray was the guy, Book was the guy, Hero was the guy. All these guys were the guy. Now you're asking all these 5-star to come together and says, okay, bro, for the common good, hey, this is what we need. It's hard. It's really hard because everybody has the same ambition is to go play in the NBA. But in order to get there, you're going to have sacrifices. And it's hard. You look at the teams that win, they got juniors and seniors sprinkled in there. Look at UConn.
You got that.
They're not as deep as far as juniors and seniors, and they're struggling. They don't have the same talent. You lose Klingon and you lose Castle, you lose some of these other guys, and so you're going to struggle. But Coach Cal got it done in Arkansas's first win in the tournament as head coach of Arkansas. We know he was at a lot of different places. Where was he at? UMass. He ended up going to he was in the NBA. Then he goes to Memphis. Then he goes to Kentucky. Stays at Kentucky for a number of years. He did win a national championship, but he moves on and he gets his win there. The number 1 seeds, Auburn and Houston, both take care of business. Auburn beat Alabama State 83-63. Auburn cruised behind 23 points from Miles Kelly and 14 points, 11 rebounds from Player of the Year candidate Johnny Brome. Setting up Saturday date with the number 9 Creighton. Houston will play SIU Edwardsville. Oh, they beat SIU Edwardsville 78-40. Damn. Kevin Sampson was able to rest his starters for much of the second half after building a 28-point lead in the first half. No starter played more than 23 minutes. Houston has been haunted by injuries in the NCAA tournament the last 3 years, but it cruised into the second round with its entire rotation intact. So no surprise. I think a lot of people probably got Houston going all the way through, at least advancing to the Elite 8, if not the Final 4.
Now listen, who did you say Houston has coming up? They play Gonzaga on Saturday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, I ain't no telling what's gonna happen on. It's one day, but Houston is good. Houston is very, very good. But again, it's called March Madness for a reason.
Yeah. Woo. Ocho, the Boston Celtics has been sold for $6.1 billion, the highest price ever paid for a North American sports franchise in history. The Boston Celtics will have a new owner for the first time in more than 2 decades. Bill Chisholm, the managing partner of Symphony Technology Group, STG, will buy the franchise at a price of $6.1 billion. The sale price is the largest for a North American franchise, topping the $6.05 billion the group led by Josh Harris paid for the Washington Commanders in 2023, and far surpassing the $4 billion that Phoenix Suns got from Matt Ishbia when he brought the team the same year. The Grossbeck Group brought the Boston Celtics, Ocho, for $360 million and now sells it for almost 20 times.
It's right asking price. Yeah.
So in other words, what they call in business 20x.
Yeah, most definitely.
As much.
Bill Chisholm. Yeah.
Ocho, if you had, let's say, $10 billion.
Talk to me.
You got $10 billion. Would you buy a sports franchise?
Not only would I buy a sports franchise, I'm buying 3 sports franchises. And I'm gonna
which one? Where?
I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna go. First of all, you listen to me.
Okay.
Stay with me.
I'm
now.
listening.
If I had $10 billion, for one, I'm going to talk to Mike Brown and Katie and Duke Tobin.
That didn't happen. Go somewhere else. That's family, mom and pop. They ain't selling that.
Boom. So if I can't get that, I'm going to Naples, Italy. I'm going to buy Napoli. You know my love, enthusiastic passion for the game of soccer and the beautiful game. I want to own a franchise. I don't want to be a minority owner. I'm talking about majority owner. I want to own Napoli. Do everything do everything in my power, bringing in all type of players, because I'm going to have the money. I'm going to have the money to get the kind of team I want. Bring in superstars. Second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to buy the Miami Heat. I'm going to buy the Miami Heat.
You think Mick Harrison goes, hold on. You just saw what the Celtics went for? How much money you think you'll have to spend to get Napoli?
To get Napoli, that's a good one. I'm not sure how much that franchise and that entity will cost me. But again, I'm going to get the Miami Heat. I'm gonna have to remove Pat Riley because Pat Riley's way of doing things isn't conducive for business with today's era of players. And this is Miami. This is Miami, and players don't want to come play in Miami. Miami is a melting pot for ethnicities and culture. How does nobody want to come play here? No superstars. Listen, we got Bam. We got Tyler Hero.
You drafted him.
Again, I understand that, but we can't get any superstars here. We need one more. Jimmy left. So, boom, that's 2. Napoli and the Miami Heat. Now, I'm not sure how much I'm going to have left over because I don't know how much Napoli would cost me. Chad, you would probably know better than I can because you can do your homework for me real quick while we're talking about it. And the rest of that, I'm going to sit on and I'm going to open up a cigar lounge. Oh, my goodness. That's it. 980 mil.
So basically they go probably upcharge. So 10%. So they go charge you $1 billion. So you get a charge. They go charge you $1 billion, 1.1. Okay. So now you got 8.9. Okay. NFL. You want to get an NFL team?
You told me I can't. You can't. What about the Dolphins? You think Stephen Ross will sell me the Dolphins?
He might be willing to sell you a majority share.
How much are we talking about with a majority share of the Dolphins? What you think?
Probably somewhere between 2.5 and 3.5.
Done. That's done. That is done. And listen, I'm manifesting this. I hope from my mouth to God's ears. Maybe it can happen. Maybe it won't. Let me dream big. I could dream big. If I shoot for the moon and I fall short, ain't no telling what's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Normally, Ocho, if like a family-owned business, there need to be internal chaos. We saw that with the Bolins. They ended up selling the franchise. But if there's not chaos, like I don't believe the Cowboys will ever go for sale. Jerry Jones gonna have that in his trust that the Cowboys are never to be sold. What. Now, once he's gone, I mean, hey, I'm just saying. But like Mike Brown. That's it. His dad started that franchise after he got out of the Cleveland because he started. That's where the Browns get their name from. And now he went to Art Modell fired him and so forth and so on. Mr. Modell bought the team, and then he started the Bengals. Me personally, Ocho, I don't believe they'll sell it.
Nah, they wouldn't. But it's just a thought. It's just a thought. Listen, where I was drafted, where I created, I left my footprint, my stamp, and just knowing that I could just being an owner of the place where I played at, it would be, it just.
Maybe they tell you a minority share. Maybe they sell you 10, 20%. Because it's just hard for me to see, like, even though I think she just passed Virginia McCaskey, who's the daughter of George Hallis, who founded the Bears. Right. They've only had one owner. The Steelers and the Roonies. The Steelers have since 1933. Right. Now, there was one year that I think the McClatchies owned it, and they ended up getting it back. So the Roonies have been, so basically since 1933. Okay, you got the Maras and the Tishes. They co-own the Giants. Now it looked like they're willing to sell a minority stake, but no controlling aspect. So basically, you know, you'll get some money, but you don't get no say in the day-to-day operations or coaching and hiring and firing, things like that. So I'm looking at team.
I like that. I don't need no say in day-to-day operations. I want to be in the war room.
Okay.
I want to be in the war room. Listen, I have an eye for talent. I have an eye for talent. I know what things need to look like. Listen, I just want to give my suggestions. Okay, I want to put on my suit and tie. I want to have my Bengals pin. I want to be on the golf court with Mike Brown when we go to training camp. We watching the players. You know, what you call it? Owners meeting. I'm at the owners meeting. You know, nice in my suit, in my tie. What else? NFL Combine, me and Duke Tobin. I'm sitting there with my pen and pad, you know. I got my stopwatch when everybody running the 40.
Owners don't be there, Ocho. I mean, most of the only owners there is Jerry. Oh, no. And I don't even know if Jerry showed up this year. Did Jerry go to the Combine this year? Normally, owners don't go. They send their general managers. They send everybody, you know, general managers, your scout, player personnel,
but
things
that's
of
me.
that
I want
nature.
to be hands-on. I want to be hands-on. If I get any type of minority share of the Bengals, you know, God willing, if God wants to bless me with some type of fortune that comes out of nowhere, listen, I know Mike Brown, KD Troy, if this happens, please allow me to put in, you know, and be a part of where it all started. I think that would be a great thing. The fans would love that. Huh?
Yeah.
Can you imagine me being minority owner of the Bengals, also owning Napoli, and then
it takes a lot of bread.
Having some a piece of the Miami Heat too. Ooh, hey, and then you know the good thing about it is, someone like me, if I was able to attain that type of wealth, I'm one of the few people in the world that wouldn't change a thing. I still be the same, the same old Ocho. You need to find me. I'm at McDonald's. You want to find me? You can find me at the Cuban spot. You know, just doing the same thing I always do. I like that. From my mouth to God's ears.
Yeah, you might better hope maybe buy the Vegas franchise for an NBA team, or hope they get another to, you know, have somebody want to start another franchise. But it's hard. You're more apt to get somebody to move than they make it an odd number, 33, because you got 32 teams and you got 4-team divisions. So that seems to be, NFL kind of seems to be set. It looks like, if anything, the NBA will add 2 franchises, one in Vegas, and it seems like Seattle is kind of the favorite since they lost to Supersonics, and you got Vegas. They got a football team. They got a soccer team. They got a hockey team. Baseball is coming in a couple of years. They got a WNBA squad. So they'll have the 4 major sports. They get a basketball team, and it looks like that thing gonna go for $5-6 billion.
Hey
guys, I got Coach on the way. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Coach.
Yeah, I got you.
You got us?
Yep, I got y'all.
Hey.
Okay.
He's about to jump on.
Excuse me. So what's your name?
Kirk.
I fucking love you.
I'm yes, sir. I love you. Fucking love you too.
Appreciate it. Guys, we're getting ready to get joined by, had injuries not robbed him. He was one of the great players in NBA history. He's well on his way to being the guy that talked about. He was the second coming of Magic Johnson, a big point guard, not only could score, but he could facilitate. Here he is, 1 cent himself, Mr. Penny Hardaway. Penny, you got us?
Yeah, Kirk's trying to get it right, my man. Kirk was just on. There it is. What's up? What's up?
Penny
What's
was
up?
good.
Man, we good. We good.
What's up
Hey,
with
you
y'all,
still,
man?
Penny, you still owe me a one-on-one, man. What's good?
Hey, Ocho, you can get that
Okay, let me know. Hey,
right
listen,
now.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spot you 5. You hear me?
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I'm gonna take those 5.
Penny was a 4-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA selection, and he's the head coach of the Memphis Tigers. Penny, you match up tomorrow against CSU, Colorado State. You feel comfortable with what you've been able to, your team going into this game? Because, you know, it's one and done now, Penny. It ain't no, hey, we get ready and we got to go back to work the next day. You lose this game, your season's over.
Yeah, we understand the magnitude of this, man. But this is what you want when this is what you live for. When you're an athlete, you live for these days. So we understand the magnitude of what's going on. We understand that they're a really good team. But we are also, and at the end of the day, we got to come and compete. They have a great offense and they play physical on defense. All of that, goes along with March Madness, man. We're ready for it.
Hey, I'm going to talk about your NBA career real quick. When looking back at your NBA days, what are some moments on the court that still inspire your approach to the game today as a coach?
Looking back at my game and how it inspired me is, I'm sorry.
Looking back at your NBA days, what are some moments on the court back then that inspire your approach to the game as a coach out there in Memphis?
Well, it's just kill mode. For me, everything I did on the court was kill mode. So I coach the same way. I put that battery in the back of my guys' back, and I'm their biggest fans. I push them out there and give them the confidence and say, hey, man, be in kill mode and attack mode the entire game. Y'all both are the same way, man. You just got to. And when y'all were on the field and I was on the court, every possession was to kill the dude that was in front of me.
You're right. Penny, let me ask you this, Penny, because I ask a lot of great players, had Isaiah on, and I have Coach Prime, who's a regular contributor. Penny, how do you do it when you're such a great player and the game seemingly came easy to you, even though you worked, you could see things before they developed? How do you have the patience to realize that, you know what, these guys probably not going to be Penny Hardaway? How do you have the patience? Because you tell a kid something, and then he F it up. You go over this in practice, and he F it up. You do it in film study, and you're like, son, we went over this. How do you have the patience to do what you do, Penny?
Man, it's just one of those situations that we say back home was already understood, doesn't have to be explained. I understand that they won't be on the level mentally as me, so it doesn't have to be explained. So what I do is I put them in positions to win offensively, and I put them in positions to win as a group defensively. So it's all about team, and then their individual gifts that they have, I put them in those positions to be great, and that's the best thing to do for me. I know when I played, I was God gifted. I could play all over the court. The coaches gave me the ball, but this guy might need to spot up. He might need a pin down. He might need to play out of closeout. This guy might need an ISO. So to me, the gift that God gave me was realizing the strengths and putting those guys in their strengths the entire game. And then that patience comes along with that because I'm putting them in a position to win.
See, I like that. Did you hear what he just said? Understanding your players' weaknesses and your strengths. Now, I'm not sure if it's easy to do as a basketball coach, but I wish from a football standpoint, especially at the highest level, if players or not players, if coaches, offensive coordinators understood what their players did well, I think it would make things much easier, being able to manipulate what you like to do based on your players' strengths. So everyone could play. So offensively, everything could be a little bit better. I love that mentality as a coach.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because all these scouting reports are going to put them in their weaknesses. So we got to figure out a way to escape those weaknesses and put them in their strengths.
I like that.
Peter, let me ask you this. The NIL or whatever the case may be, actives or whatever the case may be, it's made it a lot more difficult because, Penny, you can't get on a coach and coach a kid like they coach you or like you would want to coach, because if you get too hard on them, Penny, they're going to jump in the portal on you.
No doubt.
Penny, how do you make sure you're trying to make a kid understand or get a kid to understand, son, I'm trying to put you in the best position that I possibly can to help you succeed, without them taking offense to it and going somewhere like, well, hey, I'm not getting the minutes that I need. I'm going here. Or somebody coming in and say, son, hey, I see you and I can give you $250. I can give you $300,000. How do you deal with that now, Penny? Because it's a lot different than when you played.
I think that, what I try to do is make it a partnership and not be all 100% about me. And when I give the guys the money, right, when they come in as a basketball player, I'm going to try to make you as comfortable as possible, but then you got to give me something as well. You know, the worst coaches to play for are the coaches that, all right, they're going to come in and change everything that you've ever done in your life and make you somebody that they didn't recruit or somebody that they didn't get out of free agency, right? So I'm not that coach. When I get you and come and get Shannon Sharpe and Ocho, I know who y'all are already. I'm going to put you in that situation and we're going to have a partnership. It ain't going to just be all about me. And when you do that and you stand on the truth of everything that you tell this young man, then they respect that, man. And the respect factor goes a long way. You know, when you respect your coach, you'll run through a wall. You don't want no butthole coach. You don't want no coach that's going to be, you know, all about being anal all the time, being negative all the time, and not really trying to see your side of things. Because in today's game, you got to see the other kid. You got to see his side. In our era, the coach said what he said, and we just did it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Penny,
You got it on?
let me ask you, Penny, let me ask you this. What happens when a player comes to you and say, Coach, I need more minutes. I ain't getting the minutes, so I'm going to have to leave.
If he's not getting the minutes, that means he doesn't deserve the minutes. Wow. So I stand on the truth. If you ain't getting the minutes you want, that means you ain't stepping up to the plate and putting the work in. We need to work on the unrequired hours as well, not just coming to practice and think you're going to get shots up, but what are you doing to affect winning positively, not negatively? You're affecting the winning negatively because you're not coming to the gym, you're not watching film, you're not getting extra work and waiting on your moment and being ready, staying ready so you don't have to get ready. A lot of these guys come to the gym during practice, they might make a couple bucks, but they don't sprint the lane. They don't get a stick hand up. They don't take charges. They're not playing tough, multiple efforts. And that's what's going to get you on the floor with me. If you're not on the floor, then you're not stepping up to the plate to what we're needing you to do. And we give it to them in black and white. We have non-negotiables. These are non-negotiables. If you're not doing these non-negotiables at a high level, you can't get many minutes. And if you're getting minutes, it's going to be small until you get to the level where you can do those at a high level.
Now, with coaching that way, with that type of transparency, do the players react well like that, as opposed to, you know, you got to think about this today's era, everybody is getting participation trophies. They patting you on the back just for simply being a part of, even when you're not doing things the right way. Do they react well to that type of honesty and transparency?
They react well to the truth because I love on them as well. You know, I'm going to be getting in the gym with you. If you're ready to get in the gym, I'm ready. If you're ready to watch film, I'm ready. I'll take them out to lunch. Whatever it needs to happen for us to get that connection to understand, I need you. But you got to do your part too. You're just not going to be given this. And I know what Shannon said, that they'll transfer. But when you have that bond and you give them an opportunity, you meet me halfway, I'll meet you halfway, and you stand on the truth. That truth is everything. They respect that more. I've had the guys respect that more.
You've been at Memphis now for 7 seasons. At any point in time in your NBA playing career, did you ever think you'd be a college coach or any coach?
Nah, not really. I was going to be in TV. I was going to go to ESPN, TNT, and do that thing. I wasn't even thinking about coaching at all. Obviously, I had the background, being a point guard, understanding the game, and I've always loved teaching and developing players, but never thought I was going to be a college coach.
Hey,
when you
now
go ahead,
I was going to say that I like the fact that you transitioned into coaching, and obviously you might have wanted to do TV with as much knowledge of the game that you do have, playing it at a very high level, being very successful at it, and now coaching. Like, are there any unexpected challenges you have, being that you know the game so well at the collegiate level?
Yeah, because they don't see it like you. You want them to see it like you, but it's also a challenge to me to develop and teach until I get it. That's the drive for me, right? That's the drive for me to get this young man when he comes in June to be ready by the time the season starts, and as the season goes on, to keep teaching him and see him develop into a really good player. Because every kid that comes to my team that's been a good player somewhere else, they become a great player here because I'm so invested in each young man on their skill set, their mental, off the court things. It's a full-time job. It's not just being a coach.
Yeah, that's bad.
Penny, when you shot Blue Chips, did you know much about Shaq, and what did you expect to come out of that movie? Did you ever think like, damn, man, I sure wish I could play with this fella?
You know, when we had an Olympic festival. It was like north, south, east, west teams in the summertime. It was held in Minnesota, and Shaq and I played on the same team for like a half of summer, maybe a month and a half or whatever. And we got to know each other, you know, a little bit. But Blue Chips, I used that platform to show Shaq who I was. The whole being about that movie was to get Shaq to understand that he needed me. I auditioned for him, not the movie, to make
Okay,
it
I like
okay,
that.
Orlando.
okay.
I like that.
I did that. I did that every day.
Penny, have you ever thought about, man, if my knee, because I think you had a knee issue, you tried to come back, you end up having, did you end up having microfracture on that knee?
I did. The microfracture took me out. I had 7 knee surgeries altogether, but the
Ah.
last one was microfracture. That was it.
Mm.
Same knee, left knee.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's where they drain into the bone. They drill into the bone,
Yep.
try to let it drain, try to let it heal on its own. And some people have had microfracture and it worked. I think Rod Woodson, he had microfracture. I think Bruce Smith had microfracture, and they've had 8, 10 plus years of great play. It kind of robbed you of your lift, and now you got chronic knee problems. Did you ever think in your wildest dream when you first had this injury that this was the beginning of the end?
You know, I didn't. But the thing that was so crazy was I was playing in Phoenix and we were playing the Lakers. The year the Lakers won the championship in 2002. And I was playing with a torn meniscus. I tore my meniscus in the first round against San Antonio. And I kept playing, and I got a cortisone shot every other day just to make it through the playoffs.
Okay.
And y'all know how that is, right? So I was in pain. And I was playing with a torn meniscus. And Tim Duncan, who was much smarter than me, he sat out that series and didn't play anymore and just kind of rested. And you know what happened after that, his greatness or whatever. But it did rob me because after I got done with the Lakers series, I had spring, I had quickness. If you looked at that series, I averaged about 20 a game. We took those guys to 6 games and obviously lost. After that, I didn't need the microfracture. I just needed that meniscus area repaired. And man, I got that microfracture. That took me out because I still had bounce and spring. Even though I was feeling some pain, I still had my quickness. I still had my power. After that microfracture, man, my quad depleted and I never got my quad strength back, like ever.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, Penny, when you have those surgeries, it's the surrounding muscles. Is that to get that strength back. And people realize that, oh, my knee feel good. But if that quad, if that hamstring, if that calf, if those attached muscles, if they're not repaired, it's not going to fire, and it's not going to be able to, it's your stability. That's your stability. To be able to sustain that up down, because you doing this every night. Back then, Penny, y'all played at least 75 games. It wasn't no load management where you take 15 games out, you miss 15, 20 games. You miss 15, 20 games, you were injured. It wasn't no, Penny got the night off because, he doesn't play the back-to-back. He got to play 3 games in a week, so we going to give Penny the next game off. There was none of that.
No, there was none of that at all. But the biggest thing about me, I was going to play for my fans. I knew people would come to the game to see me, so I wasn't missing no games. If I was really, really hurt.
I like it.
Ocho?
No, I'd have asked all my good juicy questions, but I'm good. I'm just ready for this one-on-one, boy. That's it.
We can get that in.
Penny, you grew up in Memphis. You played at Memphis. You coach at Memphis. Is there a scenario where you could see yourself leaving Memphis?
Man, that'd be tough. That would be tough. I mean, everybody know I bleed blue, man. And it got kind of rocky last year, so I didn't know where it was going to go. But honestly, I want to win a championship for my city. I really do. If something else comes about, we'll cross that road. But everybody that knows me knows that blue is in my heart, man.
Right. Penny, tell the story how you got the name, because I think you told the name your grandmother was calling you Pretty, and they thought you were saying Penny. And so tell the story how you got the name.
I was living with my mother until I was 5, and then my mom left me with my grandmother. So when I moved to my mom's area of the neighborhood, she used to call me Pretty. And with her southern accent, it sounded like Penny, honestly, the way she said it. And one day somebody called my house and was like, can I speak to Penny? Because they thought she was saying, Penny. And she was like, there's no Penny that lives here. And I was like, grandmother, that's me. And that's how it just stuck from that point. I just started letting everybody call me Penny.
That's loud.
See, now we understand. Now y'all understand why how Glorilla, how she sound. She's from the same. She's
don't
from
mess
the
with my girl Glow. Yeah, Glow.
She's from the same area as Penny. Penny, thank you for joining us, bro.
Good
luck tomorrow night. Good luck throughout the tournament. And when you cut down the nets, come back and join your boy.
I will, and we're gonna get that one-on-one.
I got you, baby, man. I salute you, baby.
All right, same, brother.
Hey, one more thing, Penny, before you go. I need them Galaxy phone posits. I know you got a pair.
What size?
12. No, 13.
You got that coming.
13.
You got that coming. Right. They're gonna be there. As soon as I get back home, I got them out.
Appreciate it, Penny.
Take care, no doubt. All right.
Mr. One Cent himself, Penny Hardaway, great dude, man. Ocho. I don't know, like the chat, how many people remember watching Penny play. but he was a wizard with the
Man, the real
basketball.
deal.
He was supposed to be the next Magic
Yeah.
Johnson, a guy that was 6'7" and a half that could score. He could score the difference between
Yeah.
he and Magic. Magic couldn't score
Right.
like Penny. Penny could really
Yeah.
score the basketball and could play with his back, but he was a big guard like Magic. Magic 6'9", Penny 6'7". We hadn't seen point
Like that.
guards
Can
like
handle
that
the ball.
that could handle the ball like
Yeah.
handle it. And then think about him and Shaq.
Mm.
Him and Shaq
Nasty.
in the pick and roll, the lob, Penny getting downhill, can finish at the rim. Everything. He had the mid-range, had a nice float game. And that injury, like he said he just needed his meniscus cleaned up. They ended up doing microfracture, and he never recovered. He never recovered, Ocho.
Ah, man, I hate injuries, man.
And you know, sometimes guys get surgeries, and you're like,
Yeah.
damn, guys have back surgery. Look at Gronk. Gronk had a back surgery in college. Went on, had a Hall of Fame career. Like I said, Rod had microfracture. Bruce Smith, if I'm not mistaken,
Right.
had microfracture. They played another 8-9 years.
And
Penny, it was downhill after that.
I
Go ahead,
think- I
Ocho.
think about some of the injuries, man. To some of our greats. Some of our greats where they weren't able to finish their story. The Penny Hardaways, the Peter Warwicks, the Derrick Rose,
Brandon Roy,
Brandon Roy.
Greg Oden, there were the guys
like,
that, yeah.
like so many dudes. And I wish technology was a little bit more advanced when they were playing, so they could finish.
It gets better every year, Ocho.
So they could finish their careers the way they should have, because injuries have robbed us to some great stories, Unc. Some great unfinished
Gail
stories.
Sayre. Because, you know, back then, Ocho, they did that big surgery. They split. You had everybody. You remember, I remember when I first got into the league, it had that big scar right down the middle, that big zipper. But now the incision are so small, they done got the way they take part of your patella tendon and repair it. They do cadavers. They do, man, technology, modern medicine has improved so much. I mean, normally if you had an Achilles, that was a death sentence. You had an ACL, that was a death sentence. Now, guys come back stronger, better than ever. Like, hold on. Because look at Thomas Davis. Thomas Davis had 3 ACL surgeries and came back and played 15, 16 years. Went to the Pro Bowl, was I think a first or second team All-Pro. Man, it was, you know, when you look at it, Ocho, it's but to watch him, because I'm old enough to remember. I remember him at Memphis. I remember him going to Orlando because they made the swap. They traded Chris Webber because Orlando got back-to-back #1 overall picks, and they ended up trading Chris C. Webb. He ends up going to go, if I'm not mistaken, thank good goes to Golden State, and then Orlando swaps out and they get Penny. That thing was something of beauty.
Damn.
That was a thing of beauty. What could have been? What could have been? Ocho, Puka Nakua was asked who the GOAT is on the Monroe St. Brown podcast. Or it's the St. Brown podcast, but let's take a listen to what he had to say.
So LeBron's the GOAT to you?
Yeah.
So can you tell my brother why he's better than Kobe and Jordan?
He's 6'8".
Okay.
He's 260.
That's fine.
He plays the 1 through 5.
He's not playing the 5. He's not guarding a center, but I'll go ahead.
He's gone to three different organizations and won. Everywhere he go, he's had a new coach that he's taken to the NBA Finals.
Coaches don't matter that much in basketball. Keep going.
Who is the only coach Michael Jordan won NBA championships with?
He had one coach. Phil Jackson.
Coaches don't matter. He played with other guys. He wasn't only 6 years in 91 to 98 in the NBA, bro. He played 15 years, bro. Like there's a point where he was getting bounced in the first round.
LeBron's record in the finals.
When he was 21 in college, LeBron was carrying his team to the NBA Finals already. Like year 4, carrying Zagauskas to the NBA Finals, bro. Like
Bron's better. He has nothing to say. Let's move on. This is for another time, bro. Like, yeah, nothing to say, bro. There's no conversation. It's Jordan. Jordan's the GOAT. No, it's not, bro. Anyways, we'll move on, bro. You can't talk basketball, guys that don't know basketball.
Hey, listen. When it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to topics and conversations about who the GOAT is in different sports, I think it also comes down to preference, because then obviously talk to people like you, Unc, who can get very detailed and bring up numbers. You use statistics and opinions, and not opinions, but actually facts to support your claims on who the GOAT is. Now, when you do that, obviously LeBron runs away with it. But then I hate the comparison, and comparison is the thief of joy. When you talk about your Kobe Bryant, you talk about your Michael Jordan, you talk about your LeBron James, we talk about some of the greatest to ever play the game. And at that point, it becomes preference, regardless of what they've done, regardless to accolades, regardless to how many rings you have. It comes down to preference. When people talk about Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, who's the best? It comes down to preference, because you can nitpick and bring up numbers and bring up trophies and all this other stuff. But when you look at the greatest and what they've been able to accomplish, and they're so far ahead of everybody else that plays the sport. There have been thousands and thousands of basketball players. There have been thousands and thousands of soccer players, but these two are the Mount Rushmore that have played the game in the history of the game in general. I mean, I hate the comparison. How about we just enjoy what they were during their time?
That's too easy. Ocho, details have emerged of Tee Higgins' deal with the Bengals. Nothing in 2025 is guaranteed. However, a $20 million roster bonus is earned 5 days after Higgins put pen to paper. The only true full guarantee at signing is a $10 million 2026 offseason roster bonus. The Bengals have a practical matter, a year-to-year option that can pay him $35.9 million for the 2025 if he dresses for every game and earns $2 million per game roster bonus, and they can move on before the 2026 base salary become fully guaranteed. Is not guaranteed for injury. Because the $10 million guaranteed 2026 roster bonus has offset language, they likely owe him nothing if they were to cut him after 1 year, since he'd likely make more elsewhere.
Yeah, man, listen, one thing about it, that language always gets tricky, boy. That language that they put in there, it always gets tricky. And the way you just said it, listen, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
He wanted, I'll help you out. He wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Because this is a bull job contract. You know it. That's why you're speechless.
Listen, man. Listen. I'm happy they pay.
He wanted to be there.
I'm happy they paid him a dog.
He wanted to be there. I mean, I can't be mad at him, Ocho, because that's his decision. He wanted to be there. He wanted to play with Joe. He wanted to play alongside Chase. That's the only team. That's the team that drafted him, and he felt some sort of loyalty. But everybody that heard what I just read, y'all know that contract is bull job. But that's what he wanted. So I can't, Ocho. We can't be mad. That's not us.
Listen,
I don't know who your attorney was, but my agent would have never let me sign this contract.
I had Drew. I had the Shark. I had Drew.
Okay.
I had Drew. But listen, I'm gonna be happy for him, regardless of what's in that language. The band is back together. I don't like the business side of things, Unc. That's why I was so passionate about it. From when we were talking about it, when I was on ESPN, when we on here, we talking about it. I was upset. I didn't like the first time they tagged him. I told you, because to me it was a slap in the face. Now, for the people that are part of the Bengals organization, the people that are fans of it, I understand the business side of things. That's the side I don't like, because when you tag me, they let me know you don't value me long term. You know what? Normally, when the team tags you, you know what? We betting against you, even though you're a part of us. I'm betting against you. That's what it tells me. Again, I love my Bengals. I love the fans. But the nature of the business is the one part I do not like, which is why I played the game like a little kid, because I want to make sure I kept it fun for me. So I didn't have to worry about that side of it, because that side of it, it gets nasty. Read what you just wrote. Chat, you just heard it. I don't like that side of things. I like the fact that the band is back together. I like the fact that he got his money. Now, with the language that I just heard, ain't no telling what's going to happen. Ain't no telling what their plans are after this season. So I'm going to leave it at that. I ain't going to say no more. I'm just happy my dog got his money. You hear me? That's it.
Yep. Got some money. He got some money. But like I said, Ocho, for me, I can't be mad. Because that's his decision. And at the end of the day, the agent can put forth as like, okay, this is what they're offering. This is what we're going to counter back at. Hopefully we, this is here. They're here. We're here. Hopefully we land here. Because, you want to try to pull somewhere to the middle, Ocho. But at the end of the day, this is T's decision. Because at the end of the day, the agent works at the behest of the player.
Yeah.
Team has their negotiator. Player has their negotiating. You get in. I don't want to hear anything, because a lot of times the agents shield you from all the negative stuff they're playing. I promise you, they're saying a lot of what people are saying. He's a number 2. He's not a number 1. Blah blah blah. Rock is shielding him for that. But hey, they said, look, they want to pay you. We're just trying to get to a number that they can digest and it fits under the cap while giving you the money that they feel you deserve, while being able to go out and get other players also. So I get it. Like I said, I believe T wanted to be there. T gave them a discount. Chat, like I said, Ocho and I don't really need to add anything else about that, because at the end of the day, this was T's decision. At the end of the day, Ocho, it comes down to T.
Listen, we got to get it done. Long as he's happy. I talked to him. He's happy. You know what you get. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, top 3 right now. You know what you get, but we got to get it done. I'm talking about we got to get it done. We got to come out. You're a Bengals fan.
I mean, look, you played there. There's a sense of loyalty because you played there. You played there for a better part of a decade. And so a lot of your roots, people associate you with being a Bengal. Yeah, you had the 1 year in New England and other things, but that's not where they associate you.
Not at all.
They're not. They're not. You didn't have a career. It's funny. It's like, I ain't never seen anything like this, but people associate Peyton Manning with the Broncos, even though he played the largest part of his career, Ocho, in Indy. He played 14 years, if I'm not mistaken, in Indy. He played 4 years in Denver, and more people. He lives in Denver. His home base is in Denver. You see him talking about Denver. You see him at the Denver games. The only time I've seen him go back to an Indy game, and Chad, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, is when they put the statue outside of him in front of Lucas Oil. Other than that, Peyton's at the Bronco game.
Well, hey, Matt, speaking of, hey, I got a question.
Yes.
I want me a statue out there in front of Paycor Stadium.
They ain't got nothing to do with me.
I know it ain't got nothing to do with you. How much you think it costs for me to put it out there?
They ain't gonna put it out there.
I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna pay for it and just put it out there.
That's private property.
Huh?
That's private property.
Who property belong to?
Mike Brown.
Man, I am part of the family. Let me tell you something. If I had a knife right now and I was to cut, if I was to cut my wrist right now, you know what color I bleed? Black and orange.
Chocolate. Black ass.
Matter of fact, hey, Mike Brown, Troy, Katie, Duke Tobin, I'm gonna wait till everybody's going. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna put my own statue out there. About 8 foot tall. 8 foot tall with me toe tapping on the sideline. I think the people in Cincinnati would love it.
We're in Denver, we got a monument park where all the guys that have their numbers, like not numbers retired, but have their name up in, in the Ring of Fame. You're in the park.
Okay. I don't want to be in the park. I want to be right outside the stadium. Like you could come by, you could rub my head or something for good luck before you go into the game.
It seems like we got the mayor just joined us. It's time to welcome. His birthday was yesterday. He's celebrated, so happy belated birthday. He's a co-owner of the iconic smash burger joint, Trail Burger, and if I follow him, and I think he just opened up another one, Trail Burger. Bun B, what it do?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? What's going on? Thanks for having the old man.
Bun, baby, Bun, what's up, baby? What's good?
I see you, Ocho. I see you shining over there.
A little something, man. I got a little lotion on. That's all it is. A little lotion.
Bun, let me ask you this. Let's kick it off with this. Bun, where did you come up with the idea to start Trail Burger?
I didn't come up with the idea. The idea was brought to me by two mutual friends of mine.
Okay.
One that I knew in a previous career as a clothing line designer, and the other I knew in a previous career as a podcaster for the Texans. They both moved into new paths, one becoming a restaurateur, the other becoming a marketing and promotions manager of restaurants. So the restaurateur, Andy Wynn, came up with an idea for a smash burger, but the smash burger phenomenon was already moving on the West Coast. He's from California. He saw the trend starting to move east, and he was like, if I don't catch it by Texas, I'm going to miss the whole smash burger trend. but I don't have as strong a brand out there. I need someone to partner with. And my other friend, Nick Skirfield, was like, well, I know Bun has had a food blog for many years called YouGottaEatThis.com. Go check us out. And he was like, I know Bun's been looking for an entry point into the culinary space. I didn't want to do a full restaurant because there's so many different menu items and there's so many different ingredients that you have to stock, and a lot of things you lose if people don't come in and buy that shrimp in a day or two. That shrimp starts to go bad by day 3 and you lose it. A lot of stuff gets lost. You know what I'm saying? So, but this was a very refined, very simple concept. I went and met up with him. I tried the burger. And I thought not only was it one of the best burgers I'd ever had, I thought it was one of the best meals I'd ever had. The flavor combination is incredible. Anybody that's ever had it will tell you they may have had good burgers, but no one has ever done with a hamburger what we've done. And what I mean by what we've done is we care about it more than I think other people care about a burger. Most burgers are afterthoughts. You know, something like, I got 30 minutes for lunch. Where can I go and get something real quick? Or man, I left this club. I'm full of this liquor. I got to try to soak it up with something. You know what I'm saying?
Got to absorb that thing. Got to absorb it, Bun.
You know, but we found a real sweet spot, man. You know, we found a way to not only introduce a better product into the public, but also for me personally, a way to transition my cultural equity that I built up in the entertainment industry into the culinary industry in a way that I could capitalize off of it a lot better than I could in the music industry because of the contractual agreements that I signed at a very young age. And with this, I was able to own everything outright with my partners. There was no investors as there was with the record company where you take that advance up front. We did all of this out of pocket. We continue to do it out of pocket. We don't take any money out of the company so that the company can grow, be self-sustained. So we don't need investors. We don't need finances from anybody. And we just try to build something that we believe will last longer than we will.
I like that.
Wow.
Hey, I want to go back with it being your birthday. You know, you turn you getting younger. You know, listen, your recent birthday bonanza at Houston Rodeo, obviously it featured a diverse lineup. Man, you had Keith Sweat, Don Tolliver, Yolanda Adams. What inspired you to blend hip hop, R&B, and gospel for this event?
You know, we've done a lot of different lineups with my shows at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Last year was the first year that they'd ever had 2 full rap nights. One was my night and one was with 50 Cent and his tour. And it kind of started to get away from what the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, as far as Black Heritage Day, has always been. And that's been a very inclusive evening that was always family friendly. And with some of this rap music, it could get away from being a family-friendly environment very quickly. And so the rodeo was like, look, we would love to reset the bar. Like, we appreciate what your hip-hop contributions and all of the talent that you brought to the stage have done for the rodeo, but we think we need to reset the bar because if we don't, we're going to lose the demographic. And that was the problem with the rodeo before, was that the rodeo had aged itself out. The rodeo did not bring in hip-hop and younger music in a timely manner. So they started to age people away from the rodeo, younger people. And when I say younger, this may sound crazy, but when I say younger, I mean like 50 and under. Right. There was nothing that was catering to them. Nothing in popular music was catering to them. Nothing in popular culture was catering to them. And so there became a concerted effort to try to make sure that the people on stage reflected the diversity of the city of Houston, which is arguably the most diverse city in America right now. There's over 100 spoken languages and so many different cross-culture things happening in the city. And so we did a good job of diversifying it, but at the same time, you don't want to leave people out. And I could tell that if we did one more show that was rap-centric, my mama wasn't going to want to come no more. And most people mamas weren't going to want to come no more because it could be a little much, the way people dance to it. I get it. There's an energy, and we want to bring energy and entertainment, but we don't want to do that and make sure that other people don't get
isolate others.
Absolutely. You know, my mother comes to the rodeo, my siblings, my wife's siblings, our children, our nieces and nephews, and now our grandchildren all come. So I wanted to make sure that I got something there for my mama and my wife's mother that they can relate to, things that we can relate to, my children and my grandchildren. So that's why you get a Keith Sweat for us. You get a Yolanda Adams for the older, more Christian grandmothers and aunties and whatnot. And you get a Don Toliver for a younger artist, Coco Jones for a younger artist. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, for my base, you know, Luda, T.I., you know, we hit them right in the chest with that hip hop. So we want to make sure that when people come down, because now it's become a tourist attraction. There's literally thousands of people that come down for this thing now. Yeah. And I want to make sure that they get something.
And look, anytime you know the Triple OG Bun B is on it, you know it's gonna be big. And you know he gonna do right. He gonna do right by H-Town because the H-Town down. He born and bred. He believe in that. And I love that. But I love that the fact that the rodeo came to you and said, we really appreciate it. But let's not get too far away from what we intended the rodeo to be. Because while we're bringing in one demo, we're losing another demo. How can we blend these demos together and grow it? So they still come, more of you guys still come, and guess what? We expand this thing.
And a lot of people didn't really understand it because, you know, I don't tell everybody who's coming. I typically keep about 2 or 3 surprises to entertain people on the spot. So when I was saying, hey, I got Don Toliver and I got Keith Sweat and I got Coco Jones and I got Yolanda Adams, people don't see how that mixes in the room.
Right.
People don't see how those genres blend together. And people really didn't understand the vision. We knew what we were doing the whole time. Yolanda Adams was specifically brought in to be a part of the In Memoriam program where we honored all of the legends that have fallen. And then we thought it was good to have some praise in the room. I feel very blessed to have this opportunity. I've done this
for sure
4 times. I've sold over 300,000 tickets in just 4 shows. We're averaging 74,000 people every time we've done this. So it's been a beautiful opportunity, not just for me, for my family, for my business. I've been able to pass it on to other people that grew up in Houston dreaming of doing the rodeo. Now they've actually been able to do it. I grew up at a time where, you know, you didn't even think that somebody that did hip hop music would even be on that stage. And now we exist where I live as an example to the next generation. Maybe one day I can do the rodeo like Bun B. You know what I'm saying? So we understand how deeply this thing resonates with so many different people. And we don't want to let people down, especially right now. I don't want to seem like I'm leaving people out of something because this world is so divisive right now. And,
for sure.
And things are not really as inclusive. And I don't think people understand no culture is more inclusive as Black people because Black people understand what it's like to be left out. So we don't want people left out of a good time. You know what I'm saying? And we know that you don't need a bunch of money to have a good time. So we try to make entertainment as authentic and realistic and approachable as possible for people. And I think we've been able to do that with the rodeo.
Hey, Bud, you know, we've been making stuff out of nothing with no money for the longest time.
Hey,
we don't need no money.
So when I get $5, it's a party.
Hey, for sure. Hey, we had one of those hood parties, $20. Hey, we got the block lit.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Bud, let me ask you this, Bud. When you were growing up, did you go to the rodeo when you were growing up?
Yeah, that was my first concert ever. There's a big inside joke about it. The first concert I ever went to was Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn when I was 3 years old.
I feel Conway Twitty.
The funny story.
The coal miner's daughter, Loretta Lynn.
Yep, my mom had gotten a car wreck and a man had hit her. And she was very nervous because this was in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? She was a Black woman by herself in an accident with a white man. She just knew, for example, that she would be at fault. But the police came. He told the police it was my fault. She did nothing. He took care of everything. And then he asked her, would you like some tickets to go to the rodeo when the rodeo comes? And she said, sure. She gave him my information and address, and she never thought nothing of it. And a couple of weeks later, the tickets showed up. And so they took the family to the rodeo, and that was my first concert, my first time ever being in the Astrodome. You know what I'm saying? And it left a lasting memory on me. Like one of my first musical memories is the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo concert. And just, you know, over the years, going every different time, my wife shares these kind of memories. My wife saw Michael Jackson for the first time at the rodeo. You know, a lot of people have, you know, you can basically, you know, have a timeline of your life based on different experiences at the rodeo. Sure. The first time you went as a youngster, the first time your parents dropped you off, because it's literally the safest environment you can be in at the rodeo. So there was a time when you get 15 or 16, your mama would drop you off at the rodeo during spring break, and you and your friends could hang out all night and then get picked up later because it was a safe thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a part of many people's lives over the years. And now people actually have a real-time experience at the rodeo. And not just when I perform. We have like a 9,000 square foot installation called Trill Town, where we do the burgers, we do our Trill tenders, we have merch, Trill lemonade, we have a bar, you know, basketball goal for people to play little games, win hats, win merchandise. So we've made it something that everybody that celebrates Houston culture can come in and feel comfortable. I know that there are people from other races that feel funny trying to celebrate other cultures and mixed company because they're not allowed to be as free as they would like to be amongst some of their own people. We provide a night where everybody can come and be who they want to be and nobody's going to look at you sideways, because in order to enjoy it, you got to leave your prejudice at the door. If you don't like white folks, you can't come because white folks going to be there having a good time. If you don't like black folks, you can't come because black folks going to be there having a good time. Straight folks, gay folks, Mexicans, Asians, everybody comes out and they all having a good time. So the only way you can enjoy it is leave your bull stuff at the door. And hopefully we believe that if people have a good enough time with other people of other cultures and make friends and learn things, that maybe they won't pick it up when they leave. And they can leave their prejudices outside forever.
And that's live, man. Listen, but when you're talking, I can hear the passion and enthusiasm in your voice, the way you're explaining everything. Listen, you've always...
It's a new life, Ocho. It's a new life for me.
Listen, you've always been vocal about social issues. You know, you've engaged in various community initiatives in Houston. Man, what drives you still, you know, in your commitment to always give back to the community? And do you have any upcoming projects that you're excited about that you can tell us?
We in Houston as entertainers, athletes, what have you, we have a different relationship with the public as other places do. I believe that there are lines that are drawn, cultural lines, neighborhood lines, other things that come into play in other major cities in America where people can't really bond in the way that we bond, right? Like LA has cultural lines. It has neighborhood lines that some people can't cross. So that city can very, very seldom come together and unite. Same thing with New York. Some people might be from Queens or Brooklyn or whatever. In Houston, we had division maybe 25, 30 years ago between the north side and the south side. That doesn't exist anymore. Everybody sees themselves as Houstonians, no matter who you are and where you come from in the city. So we've been able to build a connection with people that's different. People see us in the grocery store. People see us in the mall. People see us in restaurants, at car washes, in the gym. We're very visible and we're very approachable and very personable. So people feel like when they buy our music, they're not just investing in music, they're investing in people, they're investing in neighborhoods, and they look at us as cultural exports. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you come to Houston, we don't brag about who the best Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas. We brag about who the best Slim Thug, Kiki, or Bun B. You know what I'm saying? Or Scarface. Those are the kind of, we have a lot of pride. You know, Texas has always been a self-sustained entity. It was its own country. So we've never felt fully embraced until very recently. Everything we wanted, we had to make it on our own. Entertainment-wise, if you wanted to be a recording artist, you know, a New York label or LA label was probably not going to sign you. So you had to go out, you had to make relationships with wholesalers and distributors and record stores and radio stations and club owners and all of that and make your way. And we all had to do it. So there's a common respect that we all have for each other because we all kind of had to progress that particular path in order to make it. But it's the people. It's not just the artists, it's the people of Houston who don't look at us in that way. Yeah, there may be somebody that's never seen me before and might be excited to get a picture, but if you roll with me through Houston for 12, 14 hours, you hear a lot of, what's up, OG? Hey, what's up, B? What's up, Unc? It's not a lot of, oh my God, oh wow, because we don't put those kind of walls up with people. And that's why the relationship with us is a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as projects, we are opening the second store probably within the next 7 days, 7 to 10 days. The second location of Trillburg will be open in Spring, Texas. We'll have 2 more locations, but by the end of the year. And I'm currently in Dallas right now with the wife. Mainly you know, so my anniversary and my birthday is 4 days apart, so I would never forget my anniversary. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's up.
So we spent the daytime on the anniversary letting her shop. We spent nighttime with me going to my favorite restaurant. There's a Carbone here. It's the closest Carbone I can get to in Houston. That's my favorite restaurant. So we drove up here. We did a little shopping. Went did some dinner with a good friend of mine, and you know, probably look at some locations tomorrow. Ride around Fresno and Plano and a couple of different spots. You know, looking for a location. But we hope to be in Dallas and Austin by summer next year if lucky.
That's like,
hey, Bun, check this out. What you think about Nightcap at the rodeo next year?
I think there's room to possibly do it at my activation.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Because you have to understand, I don't think many people understand what the rodeo is. The rodeo is a 21-day event. I'm only one night of 21 nights of concerts that take place in the NRG Stadium, the football stadium.
Okay. Yeah.
They average about 66,000 people a night. Easy.
Wow.
So it's arguably the biggest music festival in the world that isn't promoted as a music festival. Because we talk about 21 concerts day after day after day in a football stadium. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge undertaking. Now, that being said, my wife thought of the idea of bringing in a DJ and a DJ booth and some space up there. So there is a stage. Now, next year, we can make it a little bit bigger.
Okay, we
can make it a little bit bigger. That way we can have room for y'all and guests up there.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, what you think about Nightcap at Trill Time? 2 thumbs up.
There it is.
That's what's up. That's what's up, wife. I appreciate that. Oh, we gonna OG, you know we gonna circle back on this now. We real talk now.
No, I'm open to it because I want to make it a bigger weekend for people. We realize now that, and you know, you look at the music, boots on the ground, and all this other soul that's blowing up right now. That black cowboy country western lifestyle that has always existed is now in the forefront. And my weekend at the rodeo is becoming a big proponent of that. You know what I'm saying? It gives a place that's big enough for everybody. Because a lot of black rodeos, unfortunately, are still smaller. They're still growing. They got a lot of momentum and energy, but they're still growing. They're still smaller. My rodeo is the largest rodeo in the world. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't have a larger audience to cater to with that type of movement and motion. My wife brought in DJ Payme from South Carolina. He's the biggest line dance and Southern Soul DJ in the country. And we had people, our space couldn't even hold how many people wanted to dance. They were dancing in the street. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a great way for people to come together and commune. That's what music has always been for people of color. It's always been a reason for us to get together and commune. That, dominoes, playing cards, barbecue, crawfish, those are all excuses for us as a culture to come together and spend time together. We don't even like each other, but if so-and-so, who doing the barbecue? Trey doing the barbecue. All right, I'll come. Who cooking a potato salad? Nisa doing potato salad. All right, I'll show up for that. It's an excuse for us to get together.
I like that.
And so I'm looking at that we built something that now gives people an entry point. If you don't know about it, you haven't had any experience, this is a very easy entry point into this cultural representation. But for those of us that know, it's the bat signal. It's the bat signal.
When you talk about this, man, I'm thinking about your plate. Boy, your plate is full, man. Your plate is full, man. Listen, your role as a musician, an entrepreneur, you're a community leader. Man, how the hell you balance all these different facets of your career, and what keep you motivated, baby? Because just listen to it. This is a lot. It's a lot.
It is. But I think everybody here on this knows that God doesn't give you more than you can handle. You just got to figure out how to handle it, right? Yes. I have an amazing support system. I have a beautiful, strong Black woman as a wife in my corner, and the reason I've gotten this far. It's not because I know it all, I can do it all. My wife refuses to settle for a lesser version of me. So when she know I'm not going all the way in and not giving my 100%, she'll hold me accountable.
Ooh, I like.
She'll be like, you can do better than that. You know you're supposed to be doing more than that. So there'd be a lot of times I want to phone it in, or I'd be like, man, I just want to stay home. Now, why would you do that knowing you told them people you was gonna come? You know, my wife, I can't do it. My wife knows. My wife believes it has always believed in my greatness. Sir. And when I don't live up to it because she talks about it, she holds me accountable. Right. So I go out and do the rodeo and all that, and the next day I got to come home and put the trash out. You know, I got to pick up stuff in the garage. I got to make sure I don't leave the kitchen light on. All those things. We have moments where we are very blessed and we get to see the world and travel the world and do all of that. But every other day, man, we are a family trying to exist, making sure our children, our grandchildren are okay, that we got a good home that's comfortable for us to live in. You know, all I got to do is give her a house and she gonna make a home out of it. That's not even a question.
You heard what he just said, Unc? You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. See what I've been telling you now. Bun, I'm trying to get him to settle down. Bun, I'm trying to get him to find him a wife. Because listen, the way you talking, the way you explaining things, it shouldn't be hard after hearing what you just said.
But she got to keep up with him though. That's the thing. Yeah. You got to keep up with him. He got to find a woman that's so busy he get jealous.
Oh, hey, listen, we found someone. Hey, Bun, we found one for him. He interviewed it not too long ago.
Wait till she ain't got no time for him. We gonna find out where he's staying at. He gonna try to spend that money, send that plane, plan that vacation, anything he can to spend time with that woman. When he start disregarding things he don't normally disregard, and them assistants start having to do things that he normally go and do, he got something on his mind.
Huh?
He got something on his mind.
I got one more question. This is a good one. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat would love to hear this answer because I definitely want to hear it. Who are your top 5 Houston rappers? Your top 5. Your Mount Rushmore. Now I'm just adding the 5th. I'm gonna make it 5 instead of 4.
Okay. We're gonna start with K Reno. K Reno is the OG of Houston rappers. He's the height. He's the epitome of what Houston rap's foundation should have been built on. So we had the right OGs to start it off for us. Obviously, Scarface, not just one of the best writers and rappers in Houston, but just, arguably the best storyteller that hip hop has ever had, ever. Very few people, I think only Tupac can really convey emotion through words on a rap song in the way that Scarface does. When Scarface talks about death, you feel that loss. When he talks about friends, Phrase has a song called Suicide. And I'm talking about, I had never heard a song about somebody delving into the psyche of somebody that they thought was okay, but wasn't okay. And then you start to question, making sure you're okay. Like this. So the depth of Scarface's writing talents and mentality, man, have been criminally underrated in the world of hip hop. I think number 3, you got to go Willie D. Willie D has been about, Willie D is the prototype. Like, Willie D is the type of person that when you think of a Houston rapper, meeting one in a dark alley, Willie D is who you project mentally. That's somebody that, has stood on all 10 toes constantly, consistently, and still does. The fun thing about watching Willie D, 1, he loved the culture just as much as he always had. And 2, he bout that just as much as he's always been. There's certain things that you can count on, and Willie D being about that life is absolutely one of them. He still leads by example, and he still makes us proud to be from Houston and knowing that, whatever you say in this world, you better stand on it. Because with some people, it might be a fight with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Number 4, I might have to go out on a limb here, man. I may have to go out on a limb with this one. I don't know how everybody's going to feel about this. But I think Gangsta Nip may be one of the best rappers from Houston. And I'll tell you why. The only reason that people really didn't get into Gangsta Nip is because of the subject matter. He did a lot of horrorcore. He wrote stuff for Bushwick, and a lot of his a lot of his music existed in this world of horror and gore and all of that type of stuff. Friday the 13th, Jason, all of that type of stuff. But his flow in the mid 90s, the early 90s, it's some of the best rapping I've ever seen and done in my life. And number 5, I'm not gonna put Pimp here because I feel like Pimp supersedes a lot of things in this argument. I'm gonna go with Killer Corleone. I don't think anybody wants to be the best rapper in Houston more than him. I don't think anybody takes the art of lyricism as serious as he does. Now, we got people that got a lot of motion. Maxo got motion. Megan has got motion. Travis, OT, Walker. There's a lot of people from Houston, young artists, up and coming talent that got art, that have motion and have fan bases and really making major moves. But when we talk about just rapping and like looking in a motherfucker's face and meaning what you say when you rap this stuff, I don't think anybody conveys that more than Killer Corleone. I think Killer Corleone could potentially be the best lyricist to ever come out of the city of Houston. He just the problem is he got too much respect for his predecessors. And I feel like in some form or fashion, as a competitor, at some point, you can respect the GOAT and still want to beat the GOAT at the same time.
I like it.
We're going to get you out of here on this one.
I'm just waiting for him to wake up one day and say, man, F all that, man. F Bun B and all of them. I'm going for the top. And that's when he'll he'll be the best.
I like it.
Bun, we're going to get you out of here on this one. Which Houston team are you most excited about this year? Your Cougars, your Rockets, your Texans, or your Astros?
Now, that's a great question. That is a great question. It's always easy to be excited about the Cougars because at this point, that's a program that does this. As far as basketball, that men's basketball team does this at this point. They've gone into the last 4 marches being heavily favored. They've made it to the 8 at least 2-3 times. I know the last 2 years for sure. I think they got a great chance of going all the way this season. So, but that's at this point with that program, that's to be expected. These Astros are going through transition. Right, we lost Bregman. That was a hometown hero. We love Alex Bregman. As we lost Correa, we lost a couple other guys, but we always bring in young talent. That's been the great thing about this Astros organization, that the Cranes have always brought in and nurtured young talent. They draft well and they build talent up. They don't look to just go out and try to buy a player. They're about winning several. They're not about winning this year. They want to win several years. They've tasted it. They know what it takes to get there, and they believe they can do it. But they're still in a little bit of rebuilding right now. Lost a couple of pitchers, got McCullers back. So we're going to figure it out. They're a perennial playoff team, right?
Okay.
But it's going to take more this year to get to that final step than I think it has over the last 2 or 3 seasons. The Rockets, my goodness, look at this young team. You talk about
young and talented.
You talk about a talented young team. Tillman has done a great job of being like, you know what? We just got to start over. Like we're not 1 or 2 players away. We're a team away.
Right.
But he put this team on his shoulders of green. Jalen is an amazing talent. I think he's a great leader. I think Thompson is a problem. I think he's a beast on that team. I really think. I haven't got to him. It took a while to figure out how to say his name.
He's nice.
It took a while. To figure out how to say his name. But we got promise with that young boy, and that's what.
Bro, he for real.
I understand that he grew up in the game of fundamentals, right? But he playing with some dogs. I watched him the other day try to do an behind the back pass. He almost had. They teaching him that black top ball, right? They don't have to teach him fundamentals. He know how to pass and all. They teaching him black top, no look passes in the paint. When he finds that step, that boy is going to be a real problem. But I say all that to say this team has everything and man, Udoka. That was a steal.
He's the right coach. He's the right coach for this young team.
And I understand why he couldn't stay where he was, but I'm so glad he's where he is.
Appreciate it.
I'm so
that's the triple.
At the city love it because they get to see Nia every now and then, so the city love that.
Yeah.
But them Texans, man, them Texans. I think in 2-3 years, man, I think they're gonna be the ones to beat, man. It could happen in the next 2 years. This team is building a strong structure. D'Amico knows exactly what he wants. The organization isn't scared to spend the money to give him what he wants. And they're so embracive of the local culture. They do collaborations with local artists and they bring in different talent to perform at the games. And they allow me to bring my burgers into the stadium. They're doing everything they can to be as Houston-centric an organization as they can be. They're putting the money where it needs to go. They're trying to strengthen that O-line. I know everybody wasn't crazy about losing Tunsil, but I can understand organizationally why they feel they needed to go in another direction. I hear there were locker room problems. There were a ton of penalties, right? A lot of things going on. And I just think they were growing in a different direction. I think that they supplemented the defense. Absolutely. They're probably going to have to draft a little more to tighten up that O-line because they got to protect CJ. They got to protect CJ by all means. I like the Kirk signing. I like bringing Christian Kirk in. I think he's a fast young player. He's got some good talent. He definitely got hands, and CJ can hit him in stride. Because I knew we probably weren't going to keep Diggs another season. I don't think we were going to keep him another season, so they had to start thinking receiver. Tank had his surgery. He's a young guy. I think he'll recover quickly. I honestly think Tank will be ready by game 1 of a 25-26 season. But I think the Texans are a team that everybody has got to circle their calendar dates when they play that team. That defense is only getting better. I'm curious to see what the new OC is going to do. I think that's going to be the big test.
Right.
Is what the new OC is going to be able to create with CJ, but at least they won't be as predictable in year 2 as they were in year 3 as they were in year 2. Because year 1 was a lot of surprises Year 2, they pretty much tried to replicate the playbook, and people saw it a mile away. With a new OC, I think there's going to be a new approach. I think he's going to find a better way of working with these new offensive line. I feel positive about what we're doing as a team. So I would put it in that order. I would say Cougs, Cougs, Astros, Rockets, and Texans 4-1.
Hey, Triple OG Bun B, bro, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on everything, the Trill Burger franchises, the rodeo, you're a big staple in the community, what you do to uplift your community. We appreciate you. We salute you here at Nightcap. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you down the road.
Absolutely. And thank y'all for doing that drop for the rodeo for me last year, too. I appreciate
Always,
y'all
no problem,
helping us
bro. You know that.
Success. We're going to find some space and put y'all in that trail time.
Matter of fact,
come bring that Nightcap.
Hold on. Not only,
the people want to see that.
Bun, not only that, let me perform. You know, I can sing now.
I think we break it up.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Later, OG. Appreciate that.
Y'all, man. Thank y'all, brother. Much more success.
Thank you, bro. Ocho, take over for a little while. I got to use the bathroom.
Go? You got to go? Hey, chat. Hey, chat. Listen to me. Chat real quick. Listen to me. What y'all think about me at rodeo in Houston next year performing? Now, there are many things I can do. I can dance. I can sing. It could be gospel, R&B. I could do hip hop. There's so many different things I could do. So I think me being a part of the Houston rodeo, even though I have no connection, I have no Wi-Fi, to the Houston culture, but they are accepting of me because I'm very likable. I'm very lovable, and I think me being a part of that culture and what they have going on, it's a 21-day event. I could be part of all 21 days. They got country. I know country music. I can line dance. I can DJ. Like there's so many facets that I can be part of when it comes to the Houston rodeo. Chat, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Outside of that, I'm excited. I'm gonna just tell you about my weekend. I don't know what y'all have planned coming up, but tomorrow I'm flying to New Orleans. I'm going back to the Mahalia Jackson Theater in New Orleans. I'm going to see Alvin Ailey Dance Company. I'm not sure about how many people in the chat know about Alvin Ailey Dance Company. I'm a huge fan of the arts and dance. Movies like Moulin Rouge, movies like Chicago. I've been a huge fan of Alvin Ailey and Judith Jameson. Former artistic director Robert Battle, who's a friend of mine. I don't think he's artistic director anymore, but I'm going to see them. I'm very excited. Anybody in the chat, if you've never seen Revelations, if you've never seen all the pieces, the Revelations by Alvin Ailey, I implore you to watch it maybe tonight on YouTube so you get a better understanding why I'm flying all the way to New Orleans to make sure I catch them live on stage. I'm excited. Due to COVID, I haven't been able to see them in 3-4 years, whatever it's been. So I'm really excited about that. That's my weekend. I wish I could see what you guys are doing this weekend. And that's pretty much it. I'm excited for the rest of the Runner Show tonight. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Other than that, that's it. Chan Cam. I just want to say hi. Hi to everybody in the chat. I love you. Ash. Hi Ash. Thank you for allowing me to leave the show while Unc uses the bathroom. And if he comes back too fast, that means he didn't wash his hands. Hi Jacob. Hi Nikki and Marv and Alexis and Christian. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hi Boost Mobile. How you doing? Hi Doug and Ryan. Who else? Hey to all my exes. I'm sure y'all probably watching. I'm sorry things didn't work out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So chat, what else? What y'all want to talk about? Oh, you want me to sing? Oh, tell me what song you want me to sing right now. Tell me what song. Wait. Won't they take away our monetization? No? Oh, so we're free and clear? Okay, give me a song right now, Ash. I'm gonna blow right now. Never Too Much with the Vandross? Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Ocho.
Okay, hold on. Never too much, never too much, never too much, never too much. I can't fool myself. I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You're my shining star. My
Hey, bro, what
guiding
I tell you
light,
about singing this
my
song?
love, my fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, date. Huh?
Hey, Bucky Brooks interviewed Sheduer Sanders during Big 12
How
Pro
you
Day
gonna interrupt
today.
my song?
Bucky asked Sheduer about the draft process so far, also about what he's essentially been a smear campaign against him. His answer is what you expect from Time's son. It's definitely a learning experience. There are a lot of things that aren't in your control, and just getting the knowledge from your dad and your just coach, family, friends, and everybody you know that's supporting me and helping me through this process is extremely important, and I'm thankful that I have those resources. We always understood. Block out the noise, even from Jackson State and Colorado. It's a lot of critics, it's a lot of hate, but we know what to do. We know how to handle that in every way. So we remain happy. What do you take away from what Sheduer spoke to Bucky Brooks about today?
Prime has prepared Sheduer for this day for a very long time, huh? And he had the right person in his corner who also had to endure the same type of negativity in general from the media, based on his style of play, the way he approached the game, things that had nothing to do with his play would always use it against him. Sheduer understands that. He should understand that, because everything they talk about has nothing to do with the game of football. It had nothing to do with what he was able to do at Jackson State. It doesn't talk about him winning at Jackson State. It doesn't talk about him winning at Colorado, despite the obstacles he had to overcome, despite having, inadequate play at the O-line, still being able to complete 70% of his passes. They don't talk about none of that. We talk about the way an individual carries himself, his swag, the way he talks. Not about being in trouble. Nothing is talking about that. Ridiculous stuff. Oh, showing off the watch. I mean, so what? It's all about having confidence. It's all about having belief. That's what it takes to play at the next level and be successful. The fact that they're using that as a negative says more about them than it does Sheduer. And I hope he never changes.
True.
And he continues to have success in all that he does. Wherever he goes, you want to get a player like that that's going to change your franchise around. When someone comes out and says, I want someone to draft me that wants a player that's going to change their franchise. That's something you want in a quarterback. I know it's frowned upon a little bit to have one that's as brash and as vocal as that. But if you look at the film, you turn the film on, you know what you get. It shouldn't be no problems at all.
Yeah. I'm sure Time prepared him for this. His dad prepared him for this. He's been at this. His dad has been at this for a very long time. He's been in the spotlight since his days at Florida State. So he understands that there's a certain level of criticism that comes along with being the guy, with being a good, great football player. He understands that. Also, it comes along with being a quarterback. And the objective is, I think the thing is, Ocho, a lot of times they try to tell you what you can't do, but they never want to emphasize what you can do. Bring me a guy and tell me what can he do? Because I'm going to keep him away from what he can't do. That's my job as a coach, is to not put him in a situation where he can't succeed. Okay, you said he's not good. He's not good on read option. Okay, why would I run the zone read if that's not what he's good at? I'm trying to put my players in a situation where they can succeed. That's what a coach's job is to put a guy in a position where he can succeed and get more out of him than the player thought he can get out of himself.
Yeah.
It's going to be this. I'm glad that he's doing a great job, as good a job, but he's not a robot, Ocho. He sees this thing. I mean, he's on social media. He hears these things. He's not a robot. He has feelings. He has emotions. And so no matter how much you're like, oh, no, eventually, you hear it. You hear all the negativity that what they're saying.
Man.
It doesn't make it any easier. Now, your dad can tell you like, hey, son, this is blah, 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 but it doesn't make it easier, Ocho. I ain't trying to hear that. This is supposed to be one of the, look, if Sheduer is what we think he is and can become the player that we think he can, all that noise, that's all it is. It's just noise. It should have no impact. What somebody says about you And his dad says, "What you say about me is not what I think of myself."
Absolutely. I just hope he has the mental fortitude not to let it bother him. The fact that he's already been through it for so long and he has Prime as his father, I don't think it will. Because a lot of people, when it comes to the media and the media jumps on you and they talk about you, sometimes it gets to certain people. But I think Sheduer is built different. Prime has been built different. So I think he has a great understanding to ignore it, to block the noise out. And when his time comes in April, wherever he goes, he shows up and shows the you know what out. I'm excited
Ocho.
for him, man.
Look at that. Hey, Chad, remember I told y'all I had that right there?
Back.
That's the original. That's the OG, like triple OG Bun B. That's the triple OG iPod.
That's live.
That's the number 2 version. This one holds 10,000 songs. This one holds 1,000 songs. Y'all remember the iPod Touch?
Damn.
And check this out.
That stuff might be worth something because it looks like you got you.
Don't worry about it. It might be. I mean, guess what? It's supposed to be worth something with this plus 5,200.
Wait, come again?
It's supposed to be this plus 5,200.
All your stuff is in good condition, like mint condition. You could probably get a good price for it.
Look at this, OG. You know what this is, Ocho?
That's the iPhone 9.
No, that's the original one.
I thought it started with number 9. Or am I tripping?
Man, it started with number 1.
Did?
The hell you talking about now? Y'all remember that?
That's crazy. Hey, you know what you do? Put saran wrap back in it and pretend like it's brand new.
No, I ain't getting rid of it.
You know how much
it ain't never
how much money you can get for that? The original iPhone?
I mean, somebody probably give me like $5,000 for it because it's the original.
I know. Hey.
It ain't never been active. It ain't never been turned on. It ain't never had no phone number.
How much you said they can give you for it?
Probably about $5,000.
Go ahead and sell that one. I owe you $200.
No, they ain't got no do it yours. It's mine. You remember the Samsung?
Samsung. That's a Droid. I ain't never had no Android. Phone.
Look at it.
Yeah, I ain't never had no Droid.
That's the Galaxy Note right there. Oh, Galaxy
hey, listen,
Note.
I'll tell you one thing. You ever text me and it turn green, I'm going to block you. Yeah, I'm going to block you.
I got a little stuff. I got to show y'all my phone. I got about 17, 18 phones.
Damn.
Yeah, because I keep them.
Damn, I keep them. Boy, you got...
DK Metcalf spoke to Marshawn Lynch about leaving Seattle and to play for the Steelers. The grass is greener on the other side. Hey. Ocho, considering the Steelers doesn't have a quarterback, how can he be so sure that the grass is greener on the other side? I'm not sure,
but my grandma always said the grass is greener on the other side, depending on who's watering it. So now you got to hold on. Now people gonna hold on to that clip. Now they're gonna go back to that clip. Now it don't matter who the quarterback is. Now there are 2 different type of receivers. There are receivers that need a quarterback to elevate their play, and there are receivers. It doesn't matter who's that quarterback. Their play will always remain at the highest level.
Right.
So now you get to show us which one you are, brother DK. You know I love you to death. I love you to death. And I hope what you say is right. The grass being greener on the other side.
And a whole lot of wide receivers that can play through bad quarterbacks. DeAndre Hopkins might be the best one I've ever seen.
Quarterback carousel out this world. And then nothing changed. Not an ounce of production.
Case Keenum, Hoyer, Brock Osweiler. Obviously, he had Deshaun for that great stretch, and he and Deshaun was great, but it didn't matter the quarterback. D-Hop put up those numbers.
Unbelievable.
And so we're gonna find out, like you said, Ocho. We're gonna find out if what he said that the grass is greener, because look, I think the thing is, you get upset, you spend time there, you ask for a contract, they won't give it to you, but you had to go somewhere else and get it. But they traded. I don't get the trade. I don't get trading Sam Darnold because I don't believe Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Geno Smith. That's just me personally. And then you trade Geno, you cut Lockett, you trade DK. Now you bring in, and granted, I think it's the same coach that called plays. I think Clint Kubiak is the OC. He was in his ear in Minnesota, Ocho. I know Clint when he was about this big. His dad was my quarterback, and he's also my offensive coordinator, Gary Kubiak. But the decision that they made in Seattle, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But guess what, Ocho? It don't need to make sense to me. It just needs to make sense to them.
Damn, man. Hey, listen. I'm hoping to work out, and I'm thinking it is going to work out. I like the dynamic duo. I like DK and George Pickens. You know, two of my favorite crash out receivers.
Well, you know what's gonna happen if they don't get the ball.
Oh, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. Arthur Smith gonna make sure they get it. They're gonna make sure they
from who?
I don't listen.
Well, why did he make sure George Pickens get the ball last year?
Hey, man, listen, you know they rolling coverage to him. Now it's a different ball game now. It's a different ball game.
Okay. I hope you're right. I sure hope you're right. Jake Paul just called out Anthony Joshua. I will effing beat Anthony Joshua's ass. He doesn't have a chin, he has no skill, and he's a stiff.
Come on, man.
I'm just telling what the man said, Ocho. I didn't say it. You make it seem like I called out Anthony Joshua. Listen. He said, I'll beat his effing.
Listen, there's levels to everything. I love Jake Paul. I love everything Jake Paul has done, you know, in his own right, you know, in entertaining and in finding a lane and space for what he loves to do, and the passion and work and discipline that he's put into the sport of boxing and combat sports in general. But we talk about the elites. We talk about the elites at their craft. It's not gonna happen. If I'm not mistaken, I think Jake fought the closest
Tyson Fury brother.
Tommy Paul, the closest person to actually
Fury.
Tommy, if you want to challenge someone with the one loss you have. Take him out. Take him out.
Yeah, he too big. Anthony Joshua too big for you.
Way too big. And
bro, you talking about 245? What does Jake Paul wear, Ocho? 210, 215? He might weigh 220.
Sure. But listen, again, I love Jake Paul. I love what he's done, you know, in his lane, in the sport, in combat sports and boxing in general. But you biting off more than you chew. You biting off more than you can chew, man. I love it though. One thing you do need in anything you do that he does have is confidence and belief in yourself. Confidence and belief in yourself. It's no different. It's no different than me feeling like I could beat James Harrison. You know, it's no different. But
you can get money,
huh?
The thing with Jake Paul, he brings money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you saw what 60,000 showed up at 60,000. Watch Netflix. Well, I mean, I don't know whether it's 60,000 at Jerry World or how many. 300,000 watched Netflix. Yeah. All I know is that he bring eyeballs and people show up to watch him fight. Maybe they show up to watch him lose, but at the end of the day, they're paying money to get into the arena.
Listen, he's created himself and made himself the villain. He's made himself the villain, and the fact that everybody's tuning in to see him lose, he's in a great space and he's in a great lane. So what he's doing it the right way. He's doing it the right way.
Yeah. Ocho, a debate went viral on Twitter asking, should parents make their kids pay bills if they work a job? And the response went viral saying, I'm just going to say it. This is a big problem in the Black community, and we have to stop it. A lot of parents need help with their bills, so they take the money from their kids and disguise it as teaching them responsibility, and it's actually pretty effing ridiculous. Ocho, what do you think?
You got to teach your kids responsibility at some point. You have to. I think if they're staying with you after the age of 18, now if they're saving up, I wouldn't make my kids, if they need to stay with me after the age of 18, are you saving up to get yourself a place? You have to have some sense of responsibility. I'm not gonna always be around. So you're gonna have to be able to fend for yourself. I can teach you how to fish. I can teach you how to fish so you know how to do it when I'm not around. Now, if I do everything for you and still coddle you and have you up under my roof, and you not having any type of responsibilities, and you go out there in the real world, you're gonna be lost. We can't have that. We can't have that. We got to have some type of structure and discipline and method on how things are to go as a grown adult. You have to. But being under my roof and making sure, allowing you to save your money and get yourself together until you're ready to go on your own and be an adult, start a family, whatever it may be. I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Yeah. I mean, Ocho, I helped my grandmother with bills, but she didn't ask me to. I just felt it was the right thing to do because I saw my grandmother struggling. I'm making money. And so what? I'm going to continue to watch her struggle. Now, she's struggling trying to put food on the table for us. She's struggling trying to put food, get clothes on our back. So here I am. I got a job, and I'm not making a whole lot of money, but $10 was a lot of money back in the 70s. $20 was a lot of money back in the 70s. So, you know, I'm working 2 jobs. Hey, I mean, I remember the first time I got a job, I was 5 years old. I was walking behind the tobacco picker in the tobacco field. 1973, 1974. And from that time, I started walking behind the tobacco picker to carrying a row to doing that. So I'm working 10, 12 hours a day doing that. Come home, shower, me and my cousin, we play basketball, and then go catch chickens for another 3-4 hours.
The chicken was $1 making chicken, right?
$1,000. So we catching 8 to 12,000 a night. That's $12. Now you only count chicken between Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because Friday was the last day. There is nothing going on Saturday. So you started, so they were going to be there. No, actually, Thursday was the last day. Thursday was the last day. You didn't catch on Friday because they were off on Saturday and Sunday. Because the chicken that you caught Sunday, they were there for the crew. The plant was operational Monday through Friday. So you caught Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then they, and so you know, hey, I'm bringing home $5 a day plus half a day on Saturday, $27.50. Plus we catch 8 to 12,000 4 nights a week. So I'm making maybe $60, but I'm working a ass load of hours.
Hey, you know how? Hey, listen. Okay. Back then, you know how far you could stretch $60 back then?
Yeah.
60? Man, stop playing.
So even if I didn't help her, Ocho, guess what? I bought my own school clothes. Yeah. There ain't a whole lot of 8, 9, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds buying their own school clothes. Well, who else was gonna get them? What the hell I was working for?
Hey, hold on.
I'm working, gonna hold my money. I'm gonna hold my money in my pocket. I'm watching my grandma struggle.
I got a question.
Please.
What kind of clothes you wore back then? Like Jordache?
No. Sears and Roebuck.
Okay. I know.
You know, we had them tough skins. But hey, then as I got older, Lee jeans were in.
Okay. Yeah.
You had Sergio Rigoletto. You did have. Yeah.
Hey,
you had Levi's and stuff like Izod. You had Polo. You had dark size.
Did you ever have a pair of rules? Please tell me you had rules with the zip on the side.
I didn't.
You know what rules are, right? Kangaroos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Walter
Payton had kangaroos. You ain't had none of them.
Please. No, I didn't have no kangaroos. No, we had Chuck Taylor. Okay. You know, back then, Ocho, the Chuck Taylors, the white. You had the highs and you had the lows, but you had them in all different colors. They came in black, they came in red, they came in blue, they came in green. So you know, you got mainly I only had the white, I had the highs and the lows, and I got a blue, had a blue pair.
Hey, you know what's funny? But they go with everything. It don't matter what you put on. You wear the black pair, you wear the white pair. They go with everything.
Yes. And so from like I said, for me, and I get it. I mean, I can see her point. Trying to teach responsibility, but I was teaching myself responsibility because my whole purpose, like, man, I see my grandma struggling. She working that job, making $197 every 2 weeks. And she, you know, working in a nursing home, the very nursing home that she ended up living her final days, the last 2 years of her life. Nah, man, I couldn't in good conscience. I could not in good conscience have money in my pocket and then have my grandma worried about, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this bill. I don't know, the phone. I don't know about the gas. I don't know about the lights. Man, please. So I took it upon myself, and that is still my responsibility to this day, is to make sure my family is taken care of. But hey, my kids and their moms have done a great job helping them understand that's your daddy money. Now, if he chooses to give you some, that's on him. But y'all don't know, I owe you an education. Right. And I gave you the best education because all of you, for the most part, you didn't stay, but you started out in private school and you had college paid for. You got a car. You left college with no debt, no student loans, no car loans.
Yeah. Same.
Now, anything I do after that, that's out of the kindness of my heart. But I don't owe you anything. Now, hopefully, you learned a lot from your mom and from your dad to be self-sufficient. Now, I'm not gonna let you drown.
Nah, never that.
Or at least, you know, you might think you're drowning.
Matter of fact, hey, you know,
I might let you take on some water.
Matter of fact, you know, my baby. Remember, I told you my daughter at Prairie A&M. You know, she graduated. She graduated May 16th. Wait, May 16th to May 17th. Remember what I told you she wanted for graduation, huh?
Yeah.
That G-Wagon. So we had a conversation when I was with all the kids. I told her, I say, listen, she done made the dean's list, the honor roll. She done made everything. So I'm like, well, listen, now what you want? Now you say you wanted a Mercedes. What is it? So I'm thinking she was gonna say G-Wagon. And she said, no, Daddy, you know, I don't really want no G-Wagon. I said, well, what happened? What made you change your mind? He said, I think it's too much, the maintenance. I just think I just want a starter. Just give me a C300. I say, now we talking. Now we talking. You want a white one? I could tell them to make your interior pink, you know, with the AKA stitched in the seat and all that.
Ocho, what happened when she got to get rid of it? You better hope she sell it to another AKA. The hell you talking?
That's funny.
Man, I know. But you know, when we come to Ocho back then, guys used to get the headline and get Gucci, get MCM. I said, well, you better.
Oh yeah,
I remember that. I said, well, you better hope. Hey, get their initials Black. I said, you better hope you find another dude named Black that want to buy it, because I promise you, you go back get the great cross the coals trying to sell it. Syracuse football head coach Fran Brown has a policy that his players must save 40% of their NIL checks. There's no way as a coach that I'm going to pay you a lot of money and then you're going to walk away from here with no money. Says during the upbringing in Camden, New Jersey, it could have been a difference in paying rent, keeping the lights on, buying food for his siblings. What you think? You like that, Ocho?
I like that because at some point, especially when you're that young, you know, kids these days don't understand financial literacy. They get the money, they spend the money, they have this mindset that worth and value is based on aesthetics and accessories that you purchase. That makes you feel like you were greater than, it makes you worth, or it makes you feel special. I want kids to understand, especially people in the chat, that a lot of players and athletes today, regardless of sport that they play, they feel that they have to live way above their means based on the type of money they're making. People in the chat, players that see this, there is nothing, I guarantee you and I promise you, there is nothing you can buy that holds more weight or value than your name alone. Nothing.
No.
Nothing than the name that's on that birth certificate. Because when you take off all that designer, all the jewelry, all the watches, that in itself is the value. It is. Your car, your Lamborghinis and your Rolls Royce and your iced out watch and your chains and all, man, that shit don't mean nothing, man. Nothing. The true value, can you get the same reaction without the car, without the clothes, without the jewelry? Can you still pull the same chicks? That's your value. That's your real worth. Can you still do the same things you do with all the accessories, aesthetics on when you don't have it on? Yeah, come on, man. Stop playing, man.
Oh, Joe, see, the thing is with me, people like, I don't like money. I like freedom. Freedom is what you get when you have money. Those are two different things. Some people just want money. I want freedom.
Hey, financial freedom is a beautiful thing, huh? And a lot of people, we look at all the numbers. We look at these huge, gargantuan contracts, you know? Still to this day, the money keeps going up, right? And one thing that has changed, when you look up statistically, the same amount of players are still going broke 2 years removed from the game, even though the money continues to rise. So all that's telling me
that's
the fact
absurd.
that nothing is changing from a financial standpoint because there's no structure and discipline when it comes to spending. Because our mindset is, well, if you give me more, I won't go broke.
Yeah.
But if you ain't got no financial, if you ain't got no financial discipline, it don't matter how much they give you because you're just gonna keep on spending.
Exactly. The more you make, the more you'll spend. because you're like, oh man, I got this now. I can do
It
this.
goes so fast, Unc, man. It goes so fast. Before you look up, you got an entourage. You the golden goose. You got to feed everybody else. You go shopping, now you got to buy everybody else something. You go to the club, you spending 40, 50,000 in the section buying bottles. You got a bunch of chicks, trying to impress them for what? For what? They done Google how much you making. You ain't got to do nothing. Your name alone gonna get you the woman you want anyway. They gonna deal with you based off a name alone. You don't, man. What are we doing? Man, stop playing.
Last segment of the evening, Q&A.
Man, hey, you just got me hot, man, with that little combo, man. Golly, man.
Cupcake Mama, it was nice to see you today in Charleston. Don't drink, but I wanted to support you as well as give my soon-to-be ex-husband a nice parting gift. Cupcake Mama, thank you. That was very, very nice of you to show up and support. All of Charleston showed up. And she also said, Shannon, you and Ocho should do a cognac cigar tour. Call it Cognac Swirl and Smoke Curls. Cognac Swirls, Smoke Curls. If you guys could find the time, being that both of you are extremely busy. We are. But I want to thank everybody in Charleston and Mount Pleasant. There was North Charleston and Mount Pleasant. Guys that showed up, and we ran out at one place, Ocho, and a lot of the people like, hey, and I took pictures with them, and I said, I apologize, even though it was not my fault. They ended up going to the place in North Charleston, and we greatly, West Charleston. It's West Charleston, right? West. And I really appreciate that. So, guys, thank you again in Charleston, Mount Pleasant, all you guys that came out and showed out. This tour has been unbelievable. Atlanta, you were great. Savannah, you were exceptional. Baltimore, you hit it out the park. Charleston, knocked it out of the park. Connecticut, Hartford, Chicago, Miami, man, Houston. Thank you. Trey Bresban, what's up, Unc Ocho? Big fans of the pod. Thank you for coming out in Charleston today, making it a memory of a lifetime for me and my brother. Can't wait to see y'all in Charlotte in July. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for supporting. Thank you guys for coming out. Bamgal. Hey, Shannon, I'm so excited to see you in Pooler, Georgia. Thank you so much for the cherished memory and the tasteful liquor. See Young. Bro, thank you so much, man. I thank you guys. I can't thank you enough for coming out and showing that level of support that you gave me today. Dr. Frankie L. Bellamy. Hope you had fun in South Carolina today. Ocho, I've been seeing your videos, horseback riding, tennis, etc. You trying to join Yellowstone and the U.S. Open at the same time?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to diversify my portfolio and do as many things as possible.
Me, myself, and I said, ESPN kept Caitlin Clark out of the top 5 women college ranks because of no championships. A championship is a team, not an individual, correct? Why is this still happening to her? What the F did she do wrong? That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you go back and look at it, what player didn't win a championship that's in the top 5 in basketball? Now, in baseball, I mean, you got Barry Bonds, but Barry won 7 MVPs. And I don't know. I didn't see the list. So without me saying, I'm saying Stewie should be number 1. 4 most outstanding players, 3 college players of the year, 4 national championships. She should be number 1. Now, you can put whoever else you want after that. So if you want Cheryl Miller, you want Candace Parker, you want Maya Moore, you want DT, I ain't got no problem with that. Hey, if you want to throw, I don't know if y'all remember Cheryl Swoops when she was at Texas Tech. She won the national championship, dropped 48 in the championship game, and they beat Ohio State led by Katie Smith. I remember that game. She was sensational. But like I said, without seeing the list, I'm thinking, Ocho, like Candace, Maya Moore, DT, Stewie, Shamika's Whole Claw. I don't know. I'm trying to think who else could possibly be in there. Cooper, Cynthia Cooper, because I think she was on one of those national championship teams with okay, Brianna was number 1. Candace Parker was number 2. Diana Taurasi was number 3. Maya Moore was number 4. Cheryl Miller was number 5. Ocho, without even knowing it, did I not give you the names? I didn't see. I'm just basically, I'm old enough to remember them all, Ocho. I'm old enough to remember them all. So I saw Cheryl Miller play. I saw her win back-to-back national championships, and then I saw them lose to an undefeated Texas team. They beat the lady team, the La Tech. Kim Mulkey was on those teams. But Breonna Stewart, that's a no-brainer. Breonna Stewart is a no-brainer. It's like Kareem. If you talk about the greatest college basketball player for men, it's Kareem. Kareem, he lost 2 games, 3 most outstanding players, 3 national championships, because remember, Ocho, the freshmen couldn't play back then. But Kareem freshman team beat the varsity team that had just won the national championship. So the UCLA team that won the national championship team, Kareem's freshman team beat them in a game. So for basketball, it's a no-brainer. It's Kareem. Now, we can go wherever you want to go after that. You want to go Jerry Lucas. You want to go Oscar Robertson. You want to go Christian Laettner. You want to go Ralph Sampson. Ralph Sampson was a 3-time player of the year. Didn't win a national championship. He only got to the Final Four. So whomever you want to put after Kareem, I mean, I probably ain't going to even fight you. But Kareem going to be number 1. Just like Breonna Stewart should be number 1. Damn, I mean, what you call them? UConn took all the spots. They got 3 of the 5 spots. They got Stuart, they got DT, they got Miles Moore. So, but I can see that. Candace Parker, 2-time national champion. She was player of the year, most outstanding player. I ain't got no list. I ain't got no problem with the list. I don't, Ocho. Hey, J213, hey, Unc Ocho, do you believe Michael Jackson would be more or less famous if he was performing during the normalization of social media? Look, I don't know what he'd be. I just know I've never seen anybody that elicit the response. When people start having concerts and people pass out before he performs, that's what I'm gonna say they're bigger than Mike.
Talk to me then.
Nobody is bigger than Mike.
No.
You never gonna see that again.
Not even close. Not even close. Not even close.
Like I said, you gotta I'm old, like I said, I'm old enough to remember when he came out with Off the Wall in I think 78. And then, when he came out with Thriller, it was game over. But what happened to Mike is what Ocho, he couldn't get over the fact he kept trying to replicate Thriller. And he didn't realize Thriller was Haley's Comet. And he couldn't. He had albums doing 10 million. Think about it. Bad was a damn good album. Off the Wall was a great album. I think, what was the, Remember the Time album was on. What was the name of that album? Invincible? Was it Invincible? But anyway, Ocho, I remember we had the conversation. I said, Cat Williams was my Thriller. I'm not going to drive myself crazy.
Trying to replicate and do it again?
It's not. You're not going to do it. And we've had great interviews before. We've had great interviews after. And I know a lot of people don't like the guest selection, but hey, I believe in being diverse. I'm not going to try to hide, hey, I liked Amber. I love, Young Miami playing that game. We had a great time. But Dangerous. That was the name of it. Yes, Dangerous. Unbelievable album. But he didn't 10 million. Do you know an artist would give their left arm, right arm, or leg to sell 10 million copies of an album?
We ain't talking about no streams. We talk about hard going in the store and purchasing.
They used to go to the store and get the actual hard copy of the album or the CD or the cassette.
That's different.
Yes.
Not no streams where you can manipulate everything and get more. Please. Not comparable.
No. Danny Littlejohn said, Unc and Ocho, who's better, Shaq or Dwight in Orlando?
Unc, that's a question for you.
Ooh, that's close. Both went to one finals. Both got swept. I think I might have to go with Dwight, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And I don't think Dwight had a comparable player to Penny. See what I'm saying, Ocho? If you look at it, but Shaq, you got to realize Shaq didn't stay that long. Shaq was only there. Shaq was there 92, 93, 94, 95. He was only there 4 years. People don't realize that. People look at Shaq, think Shaq stayed up. No, Shaq was there 4 years. 92, 93, 94, 95. 96, he was with the
Lake Show.
Yes, he went to the Lakers as a free agent. Breaking news, Steph Curry just went to apply to my life. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Sir.
Thank you for your support.
Salute.
Mike Brown saw old clips of Prime looking like Mr. Clean. Now he got good hairline. He was up for the plug. A lot of us brothers need help. Again, Steph Curry just went to the locker room after having a tough spill. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Nightcap, brought to you by Boost Mobile. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or boostmobile.com to join their nationwide 5G network today. I am your favorite Unc, Shannon Sharpe. He is Ochocinco, the route runner extraordinaire, the Bingo Ring of Fame honoree, the Pro Bowler, the All-Pro, the Liberty City legend. That is him. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that like button and go subscribe to the Nightcap podcast feed wherever you get your podcast from. Thank you for your support, and hopefully you'll continue to support Unc and Ocho here at Nightcap. Make sure you check out Shea by Laportier. We do have it in stock, and if you can't find it in a city or a state near you, order it. We will ship it directly to you. Thank you guys for all the stops that I mentioned earlier, for coming out and showing your support. Please drink responsibly and stay safe. Go check out my media company page on all of its platforms, Shay Media, and my clothing company, 84, with 84 being spelled out. Everything is restocked. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Supplies are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. So please grab yours while supplies last. Thank you, Penny Hardaway, for joining us. Thank you, Triple OG Bun B, for joining us. We greatly, greatly appreciate that. That concludes Nightcap. I'm Unc. He's Ocho. We will see you Sunday night. Thank you.